Okay, we are live, and I am in a whole new setup right now, so let's see how this works tonight. So how are you, Juan? I didn't even ask you. I'm so rude.
Oh my gosh, I am great. I am on cloud nine right now. I'm so great to be talking to you, Noel, about the scare life.
Oh my god, I love your energy tonight. It is so hyping me up right now. I love it.
Hey, this is what I do. It's what I do.
I love that. So I'm just gonna turn to the chat real quick. Hi, Faith. Hi, Just T Vlogs. Hi, Queen Harley. Thanks for being here.
Ooh, Queen Harley.
Yeah. So, I just give people a few minutes after the live. Just T Vlog says, it's 8:01. It's actually 8:03 right now when I'm actually going live. The reason I had the stream starting soon is because I wanted to give Juan a little, rundown of what's to expect for the live stream. So that's why it gives me, a couple more minutes. But I'm here. That's why it says stream starting soon. It's like, I'm here. I just want to chat with them a little bit first.
Exactly.
Yeah, Justy Vlogs, on behalf of Noel, for now, just feel free to talk amongst yourselves for now up until the stream does start. Thank you, Jess. I love that. Oh, William's here.
God.
Hi, William. William
so
was...
Wait, when what?
William.
What did William say?
William Valentine is in the stream.
William.
I love William. He was one of my favorite Jasons when I did the Friday the 13th maze in 2017.
Oh my gosh, I freaking love William, man. When we worked together, oh my gosh, so many good times. Me and William became very close. William, I missed you, man, totally. But wait, when did you move, Noel? When did you just move?
Literally yesterday. I'm still kind of in the process because I still have my other apartment for a week and I got to get everything out of there and clean up and everything. But literally last night I brought my cats over. I moved in with my boyfriend down in Anaheim, so...
oh wow, you're in the OC?
Now I am. I used to be a NoHo, so I was walking distance to Universal, and now I'm in the OC, so it's nice.
You are in. No, I grew up in the OC, so I know.
So you know, all right. Well, it was just
I know.
We with the mess and everything, we got to save on rent, and also we've been dating long enough. We figured let's just move in together. Why not?
Hey, if it's logical, it is logical.
As long as money's not the only reason you're moving in with a significant other, because we were
that is also true.
We had to have that talk, and it's like, are we ready? We're ready. We're excited. Let's do this. But I also have cats.
I love it.
So they have never been in the car for more than 10 minutes at a time. So I had to drive over an hour with them, and my poor boy Buckaroo was just crying the whole way. But they're adjusting fine.
Gosh.
Then I got
my
backdrop up. I got my little office space in the corner, in the kitchen area. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. But I also record an audiobook, and I need to keep that in my closet where I've been recording it in the other place so that the chapters don't sound different. So I'm trying my best to...
Wait, what? You're recording an audiobook?
I'm recording an audiobook, and I've been working on it for a long time, but I'm not done with it yet, and I'm trying my best to finish it before I'm done with that.
You only have 1 week.
I only have 1 week.
You have 1 more week.
I have 1 more week to record 10 chapters. Which will take me about average 10 total hours, but I also have to space it out because I need to give my voice a break and then record another hour.
Yeah, no, dude, that's some money right there. Oh my god,
overwhelmed.
What is this book? What?
It's a children's thriller. It's called Our Sweet Guillotine by Mary Gray. So I've recorded another book for her before called Dollhouse Asylum. And that was my first audiobook I ever recorded, and you could totally hear the progress throughout it. The first chapter, it's like, she's new at this, and then by the last chapter, it's like, okay, she got her footing a little bit better. You can hear the progression. This one, I feel like I'm doing a bit better. I kind of know what I'm doing at this point, I think, I hope. But I do need to finish it before moving here completely. I need to finish where I've been recording it, because otherwise the chapters are going to sound a little different. There's no place to record here.
They'll sound muffled. Oh my god, totally.
But because I'm recording that, I use a lot of the same equipment recording in my closet in my little home recording studio with what I use when I go live. And since I'm recording over there for the audiobook, I didn't remember to bring the equipment down here. So luckily, like my headphones are different, my preamp is different, all this lighting's different. Like that's because of my boyfriend Glenn. So thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Glenn.
He's making it possible tonight. I was so stressed. I was like, I forgot my headphones. I forgot my preamp. Oh my god. How am I supposed to record anything? And he was like, I have something. I think it might work. And I'm like, hey, thank you. So Glenn really...
Thank you, Glenn. Coming in the clutch.
Seriously, though. So anyway, I've talked everyone's ears off enough about stupid stuff. So let's get to it, shall we?
Let's get to it.
Woo! So, little intro. Hi, I'm Noelle, also known as Charge and Die on Instagram, TikTok, and all the things. I'm a professional scare actor. I tell Scareactor Stories as my main content. But with the mess and everything, my haunt got canceled and I couldn't make more stories, so I came up with this idea of interviewing fellow scare actors that I've worked with so that they could tell their scare actor stories and different experiences and stuff. I have a new guest tonight. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Abdias. I am an action actor, but scare actor. You know, I love doing it. It was so much fun. For those of you who do not know what an action actor is, it's pretty much an actor who does a whole lot of action, all right? Because I do stunts, I do martial arts. It's been such a blessing to be able to do all that stuff and learn as much as I can. Because, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, the first big Dominican superhero. Like there's Zoe Saldana, like she's the queen. Like I'm trying to be like the Dominican superhero. So I'm like, yo, let's do it. Because like there's not a lot of us out there, but like, hey man, just trying to change it up and do something that I love. And scare acting was definitely one of them, you guys. I loved doing it because with my energy, it was a great time.
And he's got a lot of energy to spend, so.
Yes, I do.
That's an awesome goal, though, I gotta say. I didn't know that you did, like, stunt acting and all that stuff. Do you want to talk about that a little bit for those who don't understand the scene?
Yeah, no, like, the stunt world it's so big, but it's so small, and, like, I'm still learning so much. Like, there are some amazing stuntmen and stunt women out there. Oh, my gosh, like, they're, like, I can say I'm good. They're, like, great. And when you, like, watch it, you're just like, how did you do that? Like, how did you do that? You just, like, cool. Like, can I be, like, superhuman for a day? Like, can I do that? And honestly, how I got into stunts, like I'll say that I actually got into a fist fight with a coworker back in the day. This was, like when I was working this one job, like, he kept butting heads with me. I had absolutely nothing to fight for, but him trying to be tough or whatever. It is what it was. Like, we squashed it at the end. Like as men do. Like, we did run hands, but we squashed it. And at the end of it, like, I called up my buddy Nick, and I was like, yo, man, I just got into a fist fight. I'm okay, but I missed martial arts and fighting and everything. He's like, dude, you know what? It's crazy. I just went to this stunt studio in North Hollywood. It's called XMA. It's run by a former Power Ranger, the Blue Power Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue. And I was like, whoa, stop right there. Are you talking about Mike Chat? Like, he's like, yeah, you know, I'm like, do I know him? Like, dude, he's been one of my, like, martial art, like, Power Ranger idols, because this is, like, OG Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember Power Rangers,
yeah, like, the good, like, the really good ones, and, like, when he told, I was like, bro, I'm there tomorrow, like, I'm there. And when I went to it, fell in love with it right away. I made so many great friends there, because martial arts and, like, stunts always kind of came natural for me because I'm a dancer as well. Wow. And like when I was doing it, Mr. Chat comes up to me. Actually, his name is Master Chat now. He comes up to me. He's like, "You're a dancer, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, I can tell by your movement because dancers make like the best stunt people because they know to like move their body and everything, like take those shots, take those hits." But it's crazy. Like there was so much I didn't realize. Like, you could be a martial artist, like an amazing martial artist, but not the best stunt person because you're so used to like being technical and everything. But it's crazy. Like, I've learned so much from so many amazing people. I'm still trying to learn as much as I can because, you know, it doesn't happen overnight because there are a lot of amazing people. But since I am also an actor, I do focus on my acting as well. But like, I love doing stunts. Like, I can totally go out there and be like, yo, I gotta be a stunt double. Boom, I'm in it. Like, I'm there. But like, it's a pleasure, it's a blessing, Unfortunately, there hasn't been a lot of it right now. Luckily, everything's kind of coming back together and everything. But like during this time, I've been trying to do as much training as I can. Like honestly, wherever I can. Like honestly, like there's literally a mattress behind me. Like this is a mattress, and like I'll just put on my boxing gloves and I'm just like hitting it, kicking, doing my thing, and it's a lot of fun. And I love stunts because I've always been a big hefty guy. Even though like I'm not like big, but I'm just like I'm thick, but I'm agile. So it was always very easy, and that's why scare acting became like so much fun to do because I honestly did that my first year at XMA, and when I heard about everything with like scare acting, I'm like, what is this? And then yeah, it was awesome, and then with stunts, still doing it, love it. It's a great time. Like, and when I tell people that, like people I like grew up with or like whatever, like friends, they'll be like, yeah, dude, what's a stunt man? Like he'll get hit by a car like nothing. I'll be like, whoa, I won't get hit by any car. Like, whoa, hold on. Like, but
they fixed it in post. It's a fake car.
Exactly. I haven't been able to do a car hit yet. I want to. That is on my bucket list. But
that sounds so dangerous, but so cool. Like I've always admired stunt actors so much because I've always wanted to get into parkour and all that stuff. But it sounds like you have so much going for you right now, and that is amazing. I love that. I love hearing that people are doing that, and I also love hearing that even with the mess and everything slowing down in the industry specifically, you're still able to keep up with everything and practice and train and everything. So that's great. How did doing stunts lead to scare acting specifically? How did you hear about scare acting?
So, like, with XMA being in NoHo, like, it was literally right down the street from the red line, so it was, like, right there. But, like, it's crazy because when you're in this stunt class, like, you're training with, like, all other, like, actors and performers. Like, he also teaches, like, martial arts as well, like, with Bell, like, through ATA, like, everything, like, Taekwondo and, like, XMA. He actually created Extreme Martial Arts, Master Chat, and, like, that whole program. And it's really cool. Like, he's amazing, and I heard about it from like other people. Like they're like, "Yo, it's Halloween time." Like I always wanted to do that. Like as a kid, like when I would go to haunt events, I'm like, "Yo, I want to do stuff like that." Like going to Knott's, seeing knee sliders. I'm like, "Bro, I could do that. Like I want to do that." And then like I heard about it while there. Like people were talking about it. They're like, "Yo, auditions are gonna be on this day." Like I signed up, and like. My audition was like the first time. So we like obviously you know how the audition process works, but this one. So my first time it was the best way like how would you die one like that audition.
Okay.
Like that. Like, do you remember that one? It's like
no,
like,
I never had to do that, but I've heard it from other people that could be something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was long, so everybody like would die a different way, and I was like one of the last. I think I was like the last person or one of the last people to go. I can't remember like what my number was, but like everybody did different things, and so many people like were keeping it the same, and I'm just like our mentality is just like how can I separate myself from all these other people, and I incorporated stunts, so I was just like somebody was coming in to like murder me, or like I took some hits, and I did a full on backflip to my stomach. And then I was like, and I said something like, "You could kill me, but you'll never kill me." And then like I just slit my throat, and then I just like bled out, and everybody was just like, and
"What did this guy just do?"
Yeah, everybody was like, "Dude, what was that?" And they're like, "Dude, that was awesome." I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, dude, like how'd you do that?" And like even like Scott came up to me after. He was all like, "Yo, that was crazy," like. And I was just like, yeah, like it was just because you had to separate yourself. I'm like, how can I make myself so wanted? Because I wanted to scare. Like you gotta want it because like with like people who are returners and everything. But then I was just like, I know I could separate myself from other people with what I do for a living. And it ended up working. Got that golden ticket. Then you get to wait for those weeks. Be like, all right, where's that email?
Did they actually cast me? Because if you get the golden ticket, it's not guaranteed. And also, for those who don't know, when he mentioned Scott, he's the casting director, the guy in charge of casting all the scare actors. So just so you know, that's the context of that.
He's the man.
So that's why it's like, oh my God, Scott did that. And also, if you know Scott, he's not easy to impress. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he did it like he gave me like that look of like, yeah, don't try that out there or something. Because like even like when we did rehearsals, which we'll talk about later. It was pretty funny knowing like how like where that boundary of like what you can do as a scare actor when you're really starting to figure it out. And but yeah, once you got finally getting that email, and it was my first time. It was my first year. It was in 2016, and I worked the Terror Tram. It was Eli Roth one.
Okay. Okay.
It was the year with Eli Roth, and it was like that whole summer where clowns were like everything. So like
I
on
always
YouTube,
missed the clowns. I want to be a clown so bad because I didn't move until like the end of 2016 to LA. So then 2017 was my first year scaring at Halloween Horror Nights. So I missed the clowns. And then last year I took a year off just to like heal from the year before because I got hurt. And just, I never enjoyed Halloween Horror Nights. I never actually went there. So I wanted to be able to go last year. And then they had clowns last year, too. And I'm like, I always miss the clowns. Like, that's my shtick. That's my thing. Like, let's go
exactly.
clowns. Anyway, sorry. You did 2016 with Eli Roth and clowns. Okay.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I was part of the baseball clown gang. Like,
nice.
We were, like, the last people. So when you go up, when you're going through, like, the bottom line, and then you walk up the hill, like, once you get to that last one, just before you're going to hit, like, the outdoor chainsaws and getting back on the tram, that was my crew. And, man, we had a great time. Like, we looked, like, the inspiration for it was from the movie The Warriors. Like there's, like, the baseball gang, like, with their bats and everything. So we were, like, straight up looked like them, like, with our masks and hats, and like we had our bats, and it was a lot of fun. That was a great year. Made some great friends, very great friends.
Yeah, that's the thing with scare acting. You always meet such cool people that end up being your friends like throughout the years, and I love that you brought like part of who you are to the audition, and they saw that, and it was cool because not a lot of people know scare actors aren't typically stunt people. They always have this idea that we can do stunts or like we're good at stunts, and you can be, but that doesn't necessarily make you a scare actor. So it was great that you were able to bring that, and it sounds so cool. I wish I was there for that. I'm going to turn to the chat real quick just to say hi to everyone. Hi, Paul. I see you in the chat. Paul Zechariah. Bubba and Paul in the stream. Is Bubba here? Or are they just asking, is Bubba here?
Is Bubba? Where Bubba at?
Is Bubba here? I don't know. He was. Oh, okay. Justy Vlogs. I look up to stunt actors and scare actors so much. William. Just, have you tried scare acting? Just, no, I haven't. That would be a dream. William, you should try out next time. We all become a big family. It's true, we do. More so if you are, Terror Tram?
Yeah, Terror
Tram. Ow! People tend to start out on Terror Tram, and then we become one big happy family, but Terror Tram is no more, unfortunately.
That was sad.
That was a big blow, yeah. Jess, but then I don't know how that would work out because I will be back in college next year. I will definitely try out. Oh, in tram, not ing tram. Gotcha. Sorry, he corrected himself. I was confused. That's me being tired and not knowing that was the typo.
That's where me and William met. The year I did Terror Tram. Yeah, he was down there. Yeah.
Only for me it was 2017. For you it was 2016. We were just a year off. Dang.
Yeah.
Juan was my scare captain my first year. No way! Really? Oh! That's awesome.
It was pretty crazy, like being a first year and like getting elected as captain by like the supervisors and stuff as a first year. But it was really cool. Like I was honored to do it. Like
how is that different from not being a captain? I don't know what captain entails.
So like obviously like throughout the years that term has like changed. Like, cause like, so the scare captain, like, our year was like one of like the last few years where it was actually like a scare actor that wasn't like really scaring. Like now it's like I think most of the scare captains will be like chainsaw people, cause it'll be like the supervisors and then like the people who go like to all the different mazes to check it out. And then now there's like scare captains now, like the people who really run the, who run like the exercises at the beginning. Like that term is now given to them now from my understanding. I may be wrong, but like, yeah, our year, like when I did like the supervisors, they just chose to elect people in like the mazes to be like leaders, to be like help out with like we had to like, we would get like the what's the word I'm looking for? The sheet of paper with everybody. So every single day was a different one in case somebody wasn't there. and then me and the other captains would talk and be like, yo, can I have this person at this time? Like, I'll help to move over here. Like, we were like really doing that. Like, we were like really writing these stuff down on these sheets and like making sure like every single spot was like covered. Like, it's like, yo, Juan, who do you have in your spot? I'm like, I got this, this, and this. Like, let's have these people here, here, and here. And like, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Like, had a great supervisor, my man Frank. Frank's the man. Love that guy.
Oh yeah, Frank. Okay.
Yeah, he was the man. Like, he was such a true, like, just a true leader. Like, we all respected him. Like, he talked to us like equals. Like, because sometimes you may not get that a lot of the supervisors. Sometimes they'll be like, but like Frank wasn't like that. He took care of us. He got mad love, and we always had mad love for Frank.
Oh, that's awesome! And congratulations getting captain your first year scaring. What a freaking honor! That really has to say something about you and like your leadership skills and how well you get along with everyone and what people see in you. God, what a freaking honor! That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jesse Vlogs, can I invite my friend in here? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, tell people to come here.
Yeah, bring everybody. Tell everybody.
It's not a private group. Yeah.
Yeah, I told them I put it on my IG, my Facebook. I'm like, click that link at 8 p.m. and be here.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Paul says hi. Hi, Juan.
Hello.
Paul Zachariah.
What's up, Paul?
Yeah.
What's up, Paul?
Faith, what time would the live be on Twitch for Eastern time? Typically, 11 p.m. Eastern. I go 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, pretty much any night. However, tomorrow I might not be able to, so check Instagram for updates just in case, because I am moving. Like I said in the beginning, I don't know if you guys heard all that, but
she's moving.
I'm moving, so this is not my normal setup. I am moved in with my boyfriend. However, for the rest of the week, I still need to get out of my old apartment, so I need to pack up and get everything out of there, while also recording like 5 to 10 times the amount of chapters that I normally would for my audiobooks. So I'm busy and I'm stressed. I'm a little overwhelmed. So I might not go live tomorrow. I go live on Twitch, Juan, by the way. We're talking about Twitch.
Nice.
And I normally do like Scareactor Plays Horror on Tuesdays on Twitch. And I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia. I don't know if you're familiar with that game. It's a lot of ghost hunting. Yeah, so that's what Faith is talking about when she talks about that. So yeah, anyway, caught you up. Let's see, Jess, my group is like 12 people. Haha. Yeah, invite everybody. It's a public live stream. Yeah, it's YouTube. Tell everyone to come here.
We got some fun.
Yes, let's get to the Scareactor stories, shall we? Do you have any like fun stories of memorable scares or reactions throughout the years?
Oh man. So many to choose from. Like, my first year was really cool because, like, as we know, it was like the Eli Roth one. So when he came to like walk through, and like I was like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm gonna scare Eli Roth. And he was also like accompanied by the actress from The Exorcist.
Oh.
He was accompanied by her. If my memory is correct, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm relatively sure that's who he was holding, and like they were recording and everything, and like I did a really funny scare with like a whole baseball crew. Like, we got up in there and we got him real good. It was pretty funny, and like that was like it is so funny like when you see like the celebrities you scare. Probably one of my most memorable like I hate to say this, but like when Kobe came through to the terror tram, he came through. And like they actually stopped it so that him and his kids could like come through. And I scared his daughters, like Kobe, Gigi, rest in peace. Like, I had to scare them. It was crazy. Like, Kobe, he came in with a mask, like a workout mask, sunglasses, and it's funny. It's like you're seeing him. It's like, and it's like when you think of like what's going on, it's like in his head, he's like, I am very hidden, and I'm just like, yeah, because there are so many people that are like over 6 feet tall. And like, but I was like, oh my god, that's Kobe. Like he like just, I scared him, and he like just looked at me. I'm like, oh my god, Kobe looked at me. Like that was.
There's only so much you can hide when you're that tall, and that's kind of what you're known for, you know.
Also, his jumpsuit, the jumpsuit was like black, gray, and purple, and I was like, gee, I wonder. And like we all knew, they're like, yo, Kobe's coming. Kobe's coming. We were like, oh my god, Kobe's coming. And that was my my second year, dude. That was my 2018 year when I was actually at Terror Tram again. So that was that year. because I unfortunately didn't get to do 2017. I was one of like the returners that was supposed to get the email, but like ended up not. But then like so many returners emailed Scott, and then like so many of them got put on. Like there was like something messed up. I don't really know, but like so many people had their theories about it. They're like, yeah, if you email Scott, you're gonna. I waited too long. I ended up not emailing, but that was the year I actually got to experience 2017, like of Horror Nights. So that, and when people, it was funny like seeing my friends scaring. So obviously, like when they're scared, they'd be like, "Hey, Juan," I'd be like, "Ah!" It was that. And like honestly,
it's different.
Like we don't. Yeah, we don't get scared anymore. Like we just enjoy. Like they're gonna try to scare you, but you're just like, oh, you guys. Like when you know it's your friends, you'd be like, wait, I know who's in there. Like they're not breaking, but I know who's in there.
Yeah, it's different going through as a Scareactor, especially when your friends are scaring, because
exactly.
like they pay special close attention to you. They know that they can kind of get away with maybe saying your name or like tapping you on the shoulder or something.
Exactly.
Or in William's case, he really wants to kidnap me one year, like full on take me away.
Oh my gosh, there were so many times we wanted to try that. Like so like my first year, like so when I was a scare captain for like Terracon 2016 year, like we ended up getting a fence made, and then we had stepping stool to like do like a scare like that. But me being who I am, I like really was like pushing the status quo, and like I would real talk, like I would time it, because honestly it's like 4 feet. It's just nothing. And like I jumped off of much higher places. I know how to land, but like so people would want, and I would literally jump over the fence and I would land, and I would just like, and they'd be like, ah, like they would get scared, and I loved doing that. But then I did it one time when supervisors were coming, and apparently I wasn't allowed to do it. I'm like, no one told me I couldn't do it, because when you're told by the head honcho of Horror Nights, the God himself, like you know who I'm talking about, friggin' when you tell, he's like, yo, go for those crazy big scares. Like I'm getting 2 different things. Like head honcho telling me to go all out, and then you people be telling me to like relax. And I'm like, no, I'm going for the big scares. And then that day I got into a little bit of trouble. I won't lie about that. I got a little bit of trouble. I actually ended up being like demoted for a little bit. So I ended up being a kill victim for like a night, and it was like I hated it. It was the worst. I got put in the pig, and that nobody was in that one. I got put in the pig victim on Terror Tramp. It was I made it fun. Like I went all out doing it, but then like I was just like, this sucks. Like I know where I'm supposed to be. Like when you get your numbers, like when you know like, oh, you're number 47, you're getting your thing. When I was like, what is, like when I went into check and I was like, what is this? What is this number? And then I was like, kill victim. Like I was so mad. It wasn't even like Frank. It was like his above people. And I'm like, why am I getting in trouble for this? Like, I feel like I see people do way crazier stuff, and like I was super heated about it. It only lasted for like that night because Frank, like he really had my back. He's like, yo, I need Juan back. I need him where he is. Like, and then I was able to go back, and I was just like, I was kind of pissed about it. And but at the same time, it was because we had so much fun. Like once we like went in that fence, we went off in there. Like we would do crazy crawls when we got our clickety clackers and metal hands. Like it was the best. And like when we got to do it, like one memorable time is when none of us had to wear masks. So like my baseball crew, we were told we got to all do face paint. So we all chose a different face paint, but so we had to get there early because you know how it is. Like on that airbrush, like you got to be like, you don't want to be that a-hole who's like taking up the most time. So we had to have our ideas ready, and we kept asking like, when can we do this? Because like one person was able to do it a few times because of masks. I don't really remember. I think they were allergic to the mask, and like it was so cool. I'm like, yo, we want to do that. And then the dude was like, yo, we should do that like one time or something. And I'm like, yeah. So mine was like half Venom, half Clown. So it was like blue Venom, and like it was really cool how it was done, and like we all looked sick. Like that was a super dope. That was probably one of my favorite days. Like no mask, just face paint making. We were still terrifying. Like my curls were just going down. We had our bads were just like we're just like insane. Like that was one of my most memorable moments, getting to do that with actually like the OG Terror Tramp like crew. We called her it was like the butt stuff family because we would just yell out butt stuff like when we're like getting ready and stuff. Like it's just what we're doing. And
I feel like every year has something that they yell, because our year on Terror Tram was 2319. It's 2319. In reference to Monsters Inc. Yeah, like someone stuck a sock on one of our supervisors' backs, and then they were just like 2319 and would tackle him, and then that became a thing throughout the whole run.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. I would actually, what's crazy, I would actually teach Zumba classes before we would scare. Like, right on.
How are you not exhausted after that, though?
No, we would do it. So we did it when we would get there, when we would first get there, and then when we were having, like, our pre-meeting, we would have a certain amount of time, like, we do stretches, and then I would do Zumba. So people would bring their big speakers. We would have my boy Raymond. He would always bring his dope speaker, and I connected to it. And then we would do I think it was like a 10-minute Zumba class. And like we were going in, like William remembers, he knows, like William knows. And like it was so much fun. We would all have, people would be like, wow, we doing Zumba? I'm like, hey, we're doing Zumba. And like it became a tradition, so we just kept doing it. And it was a lot of fun to get to do. One of my favorite scares was when I was a part of the Toxic Tunnel last year. Because I did Terror Tram 2016 and then 2018, and then for 2019 I was part of the Toxic Tunnel because I was so finally, because we all know like the Toxic Tunnel, man, those are the ones, man. Those are the ones that you got to have that energy for. And when I got, I was like, yes,
because there's
so
nothing to hide behind. It's all you guys all the time. Yeah.
Exactly, and I made some very, very close friends from there. Like these are my boys. And, like, we always had a great time. Like, that year was, like, we were known as, like, I'm pretty sure, like, the best scare zone. Everybody was, like, loving us because, like, we looked like frickin', like, hot rod mechanics. Like, we had, like, wrenches and crowbar. I had a crowbar.
Like, the melted faces, the distorted mutations. Oh, it was so gross.
I no lie, I looked like Dracula's, like, dopey brother. It was like a third, like I had a tooth right there, like a mole somewhere. It was.
I think I remember that mask because I remember looking at it, going, "That's so derpy. I love it." Like.
Yeah. There were two of us. So it was a lot of fun and getting to do, and like we would have a ball, like just all the guys, like just running around, like doing our thing. Like we sweat, like we get that work in. And one of my favorite ones is when I scared a girl. And it was a full-on chain reaction. Like, I didn't stop. It was like like, I went to each single one in, like, one line, and each one of them, like, went into the fence, and they just, like tipped it over, and, like, we just gave that look, and I was just laughing, like, on the inside. Because, let's all be honest, like, our favorite scares is when we make people eat it. Like, if they don't, like, when they beef it to the ground, it's freaking hilarious. Like, we're safe about it. Like, I ain't touch them. I'm just really good at getting up in their business, scaring the crap out of them. And, like, seeing them fall, like, or they run into the wall, they run into somebody else, like, it is, like, the most randomest. It's so funny, like, seeing those ones, like, especially in the tunnel, like, because you can see everything.
Yeah,
like, you got to have that vision. You got to have that vision to be like, where's the path and everything. And, like, and Toxic had a lot of great guys the 2019 year, like, a lot of great people there, and it was a lot of fun. That 2019 year was probably one of my favorite ones. Like, it's crazy, even knowing like only did it for 3 years, like straight up got my patches right here, like just be like that whole life. And then like this was the 2018 like the tunnel sweaters that we made, because you gotta you gotta make some gear.
Absolutely.
And we all always gotta make some gear, and it was a lot of great people in that one, and I was really looking forward to doing it again for 2020, but hey, it is what it is. Life, whatever. We'll get past it. We're coming back stronger.
Stronger next year. Everyone comes back all at once, and we just go for it.
Exactly. Just rush the gates and be like an anime.
We're back. Yeah. It's been pent up for over a year. For me, it's 2 years, too, because I didn't act in 2019. I willingly took that year off, and then the world made me take this year off, and I'm like, I am itching to get back. Dear Lord.
Totally.
William says, you always wanted me to dance, and I was like, hell nah, the hill was enough stretching.
He would just be kind of in the bag, just like, and I'm just like, William! And then he was just like, looking at me, I'm like, William!
Get back at you, come on! I would love to do those Zumba workouts right before as a warm up. That would be awesome. We usually just stretched.
No, yeah, people from both lots would come, and then we would just it was on the house for oh my God, what's that character's name? Bates house.
Oh yeah,
So the Bates house, because the motel people they would come up too, and then we would just all be doing it. Like if anybody wanted to do it, they could join in. We'd just be like Zumba.
Oh, I love Zumba. William, I was pretending, LOL. You were pretending, of course. Of course you were.
Of course, William.
Of course you were pretending. Sure you were. Hi, Vincent. Welcome back. Thank you for joining the stream. Vincent. All right. Any other Scareactor stories you want to share? Anything about like best reactions, best screams? I love. You said you love when like people fall down or like bump into each other. Oh, just so you know, if you ever do that, we are totally laughing at you. But me, I like to check if they're safe first. Obviously, if they're hurt,
of course, like you'll know the difference between like like those kind of drops, and then like the people who like really beep it, you'll be like, oh.
There was,
and then you're like,
because we can't speak, so we have to mime. Like, are you sorry? You okay?
Yeah, for real.
Help? You need help? Like, it's like
exactly. It's like, right here and all that, but like, it's probably one. I mean, one of my favorites. Oh man, another one. Probably. It's like honestly, like I love seeing like my other fellow performers, like for the Toxic Tunnel, like they're scared. Everybody had like a thing. Another one, everyone had like their thing. Like our boy Damon would pull out his glow stick from his nose. Freaking Vincent would have his brick, and he'd just be like, and everybody had this thing. Joey Mustache had his thing with his, but like where everyone was always so creative and then like it was funny. Like they would do like, hey, don't do that. We'd be like, yeah, okay. Are we gonna do it? Yeah, we're gonna.
And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure the supervisors, especially if they've been scare actors, know, like, that's a cool thing, keep doing it, but because their job is supervisor, they have to say, for safety, don't do that, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. Like, I would run up against the wall. Like, and there was one scare, these people had no, like, like, I would just act super calm, but then I would just, like, bolt to the wall. I'd run across, and I went over people, and then I would just, like, jump up super high, and then I would land right in front of them, and the people, like, this one couple, like, the boyfriend obviously tried to act all tough, but he literally, like, got scared into his girlfriend, and they both just, like, hit the gate. Like, they used it as a counterbalance, but it was hilarious, because then the dude was trying to act all tough out there. And that's scared. We love those ones, like, the dudes that try to act tough. We're like, bro, we know you're scared right now. Stop whining. Like, I have made, like, me and several other performers have made people, like, pee themselves. Like, it's crazy. Like, when you really make someone pee themselves, like, yo, did that just happen? Like, pretty sure we just made that dude piss himself. Like, it's
check it off the
crazy.
bucket list.
Exactly. You got, everyone has their list. It's like, all right, what am I going to do? I'm going to do this. And, like, every, like, person, like, I would, like, be able to remember. I love being able to remember faces. And it was actually, what's crazy is last year, my second grade teacher actually walked through, and I scared her. And, like, it was, like, so loyal last year. I won't lie. I broke character because I was like, Mrs. Galvan? She was like, who is that? And I was like, it's Rod. And I was like, she was like, oh, my God, what? And I was like, and I just went back to scaring. And then, because I have her number, and I texted her. I was like, that was me. I'm like, oh, my gosh, what are you doing here? She's like, I'm here with my nephew or something. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm going on break in 10 minutes. I'll come find you. Ended up going to go find her, and it was, we walked around, like, because this woman, like, she was amazing. She was like a second mom to me. Like, she's been the person that, like, yeah, like, because I have ADHD, so she was one of the first teachers to really, like, teach me as a kid with ADHD. She didn't just see me as a kid with ADHD, which was great.
That's great.
And yeah, no, she's been, like, I made her a promise, like, you'll be at my elementary, junior high, high school, college, and wedding. Like, she was at all those graduations. Like, I would give her a ticket to each single one, and then for, like, she knows she'll be at my wedding, like, God willing, like, when that happens in the future. She was an amazing person. So I walked her around. I was like, hey, what's one maze you guys haven't been to? They're like, we haven't been to Killer Clowns, and because it's a 2-hour wait. I'm like, got it. Let's go. I went up, talked to my homies. I'm like, yo, bro, this is my second grade teacher. They're leaving a little bit. Can we like get in? Like, oh yeah, bro, let's go. And like, and you know, like, man, like we look out for each other. And it was like, it's crazy. Ariana Grande just went through, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, I used to work with her, but that's a story for another day. But and then we walked through, and she was like holding me super tight, and I was like, I got you, Joanne. It was just like, I can't call. She'd be like, it was like, Juan, we're both adults now. You can call me Joanne. I was like, okay, Joanne. It was super funny. Like,
I would never do that. Like, even if one of my teachers was like, oh, you could call me my first name. It's like, but I know you.
It's weird. Like,
it's so weird.
It's so weird.
But that's so
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great whenever people, and like care about really come through, and you're just like, hey, what are you doing here? Wow, so fun. We love seeing people that we know, so come support us. It's always fun.
It's the best.
How did they like Killer Clowns?
Oh, she loved it. She's like, oh my god, that was terrifying. Like, and like I was obviously in like my when I take off, we have to take off all of our stuff. I'm still wearing like my black tights. I just put on my windbreaker, and I'm just like with my pass walking around, and then just like I'm in my slides. Like, I gotta be comfortable because I gotta go back in like 30 minutes to go scare again. And it's like, it was so much fun to get to do that. And like Killer Clowns, like by far, like that, like 2019 Killer Clowns was like a top 2, top 3 like scares. Like, you had to rock the Killer Clown shirt today. And like, but that was one of my favorites for the color. But for that, it's 2019. The Pandora's Box was probably the dopest one.
I will say, when I went through Pandora's Box, because I went through as a guest that year, and I loved Killer Clowns, but Pandora's Box, there was this one Stillwalker, I still don't know who it is. We were talking about how it's different going through a haunt as a scare actor when your friends are scaring, and I knew so many people were my friends because they were, like, targeting me in, like, a certain way.
Exactly.
But I don't know who it is because they're the ones in the masks and they can't talk to me. So I'm like, I don't know who you are. So I went through Pandora's Box. There was this one Stiltwalker. Still don't know who it was. But they were, like, hiding in the camouflage, and then they would pop out of camouflage and scare the people. But they popped out at me and then bent over me, so it was a little unsettling because they were so much bigger than me. And then they just patted my head, and I went, do I know you? And they're like, I was like, cool, text me later. I don't know who you are, but cool. Like, they freaked me out, but they never messaged me, so I still don't know who it was.
Oh my god. Was it that one glow-in-the-dark rock-looking one?
I think so.
It was like kind of like he had like a pointy crown, but it was like dotted, like looked like a rock, right?
It was either that or like a moss bushy kind of look next to like more of the bush. So I can't remember exactly which one it was because it was a while ago and I like went through it one time, but
no, it was so cool. Like when we finally, because the Scareactors, we don't sometimes get to see the other ones. So the day we got to go see Pandora's Box, when we walked through it, we're like, yo, can we do that again? And like they're like, yeah, we got some stuff. Like, all right, let's do it again. So like when we went through it, it was so cool to like do it again, and like that was a cool year. That was a good one.
It was a good year. I kind of regret not scaring that year, to be honest, but I really appreciated being able to go through as a guest for like the first time ever, so I get to experience the context of like all the mazes and what people actually have to go through. Oh, my friend Jenny is in the chat. Hi, Jenny. She says Pandora's Box was beautifully done and has like crying emojis and the
it was good. No, it was good to like see like investment into like with the whole door and everything. I'm like, yo, I can't more of these be like this, because like, and that's where people have the conversations like which scare place is better. Like with Knott's Berry Farm, like in their mazes, their stuff are like they're pretty intricate and it's very interesting. And I'm like, damn, I want a freaking floor that moves and jiggles and like and other stuff. Like have a flashlight that doesn't work. Be like, whoa, like. the ideas that go into it is very interesting.
It's very creative, and I appreciate that. What I liked about Pandora's Box is because it was an original maze from Halloween Horror Nights, when usually they do things based on the movies, and that's Universal's thing, you know, is like you feel like you're in a movie because they go out of their way for like making the set look like exactly like the movie and the costumes and everything. You really feel like you're on set, which is great. But I love the original maze ideas too. If you could put that kind of effort into like a creative idea like Pandora's Box with the black light and like scaring in the dark and like movement and all of that, I thought it was fantastic. It was very well done. I wish they did that more. I want a balance of like original mazes versus like ones from movies a little bit more. And that would be great, rather than having the original concepts be just the scare zones or something.
Totally. And also, you also got to think about like the people who whine about stuff, like, which is why like we're always, every time we try to take a step forward, somebody has something to complain about. I'll be like, oh my god,
everybody's a critic.
This was too scary. I'll be like, oh, it was. Cool.
Were we doing too good a job?
Yeah. I'll be like, gosh, you're like so many people, and then we would love to hear like the random complaints about stuff. Like, we're just like, really, like, it's so funny. Like dealing with like the super drunk people. Like I've been swung on more times than I can count. I'd be like, and I'd be like in my head, I'm like, bro, I'm like, man, this is the wrong one, man. I'm the wrong person to be swinging on, but I can't break character. I'll get fired. And it's just like, and then after when you go on break, you're just like, I just want to that guy, but it's crazy though. But
I definitely had those moments too of like, if only I didn't have to stay in character, I'd have a few choice words for you. I don't like to pick fights, like fist fights. I will if I need to. Yeah. But I like to mess with people's minds. I like to make them feel bad. If they make me feel bad, I want to make them feel bad because I'm spiteful. And
that is diabolical.
Yes. And I'm spunky. Don't mess with me.
She's spunky.
Spunky. I'm a scare actor in many ways. I can make you so afraid with my words too. But Universal, we can't speak, so whatever.
No, we cannot.
Would you ever want to act for another haunt and do other things?
Yeah, like, I've thought about it, like, especially this year, like, when, like, the last-minute haunts were happening, like, fellow scare actors were, like, hitting everybody up, like, yo, this place, they're doing it. But then I was just, like, I don't know, I just wasn't, like, feeling it to do it, but, because, like, all the homies are just, like, yo, because when we were getting ready for Horror Nights, like, when there was the possibility that auditions might happen, everybody's texting, like, yo, you going? I'm going. You going? And then when we got that, it's like, unfortunately, Horror Nights will not be happening. We're just like, okay. Yeah. And then and even though you may love it, but it's just like you love doing it there at Universal.
Because it's home now. It's our home haunt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, of course, and like it was great to do something. It's like something to do. Like you're busy. Like you're gonna be working. Like you're gonna be doing them hours, getting that overtime, making that money. But like, you're working hard, and it's like not for the faint of heart. We all know, like, we'll get the people starting at the beginning, and then they'll quit some point down the line.
Oh,
and
so many people quit within the first 2 weeks. Don't give up if you're one of those people. Yeah, no.
So you are not worthy. It's like, if you're not coming, you better have a good reason. It's like, school's going crazy. Okay, that's a good reason. I'm okay with that.
Like, I understand if they have a, like, school, like you said, or a day job that's becoming more demanding, and it's like, yeah, you gotta pay rent, I get it, but a lot of people quit, and they complain because it's like, oh, I didn't expect to stay up so late, or I didn't expect to be so exhausted all the time, I'm so sore everywhere.
Dude, man.
It's like, you just gotta get over that first hump, because everyone, no matter how much you've been scared, I don't know about you, Juan, because you seem to be very athletic, but other scare actors I've talked to, we always get that scare actor fatigue the first week or two, where you are sore all over, because no matter where you scare, it's always different every year, so you're working different muscle groups you probably never worked before, so your body's gonna be sore. You just gotta get over that, and then after 2 weeks, it's like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I luckily, like, doing what I do, I know how to, like, take care of my body. Yeah. And, like, honestly, when I'd be scaring, even though we're having our Under Armour, underneath my Under Armour, I would have, like, a core sweater. So So like when I would just take that off, I'd just be drenched in sweat because like honestly I would also use Horror Nights as a way to train. Like you're training because when you can't do it, like if you're too sore to go to a workout, like all right, I'm making sure I'm going double hard at Horror Nights so I can get that sweat in and everything. And it's fun. Like it's fun to do. It was fun to do all that training and like all that work, running around and working.
Oh yeah, I definitely got a workout, especially in 2018. I was in the trick or treat scare zone. I was the wolf in the blue dress.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I the way I would walk really worked my glutes. I always say like my butt looked the best when I was a wolf. I gotta say it was like okay, yeah. and you know you always like I was running around. I was getting so sweaty. I was definitely having a workout. So yeah, you definitely get a workout scaring. No matter where you are, you're always working something. You know, you're always moving. Even if you're a kill and you're lying down, you gotta be like flailing a little bit so you're working something. So it's definitely a workout. It's worth it. If not for anything else, definitely for that. If you want a fun way, like Zumba, it's a fun way to work out. Yeah. Zumba. Vincent says, did you have makeup on for the wolf? It was a mask. So yeah, I had makeup on my eyes to blend in with the mask, but other than that, no, I did not. I was very spoiled.
Black, I get the black-eyed.
William says, hey Juan, don't forget to scare aggressively safe.
That's a good. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, that's literally what we would say every day. Like after the remember, guys, don't forget to scare aggressively safe. Oh, man.
I love that. I really because it puts that punch in it, but also you gotta be safe. You gotta be safe.
Gotta be safe. Always like that's why like having true spatial awareness is very good to know like who's around you at all times, and it may be hard. Like that's why if you have a problem with your mask or anything, you gotta let it be known so you can be able to see. And like honestly, I was blessed. Like both times. Like I had a silicone, like I had a mask, like with, I had a silicone my 2018 year for Terror Trek because we were like nightmare ghouls and like straight up just like that. And like I look like Braga from Mortal Kombat, like with all the teeth, and I would get that. It's like, oh bro, it's Braga, and I'm just like, but I had both my eyes. I had probably the best mask to be able to see. I felt bad for other people who had like one eye or like, and then like half of some of it's like weighed in, and I'm just like, dude, I feel so bad for some people. Like I got lucky with this mask, and like even for like with the baseball crew, I had both. I could see out of both my eyes, like just a regular mask, hair, baseball hat, like I was blessed. And then with the Terror Trap, I swear to God, there's like something in my eye that's driving me crazy. It might be like a random eyelash, but for for Toxic Tunnel. Like, yeah, with the Dracula eyes, like, I was able to see it, and that was a blessing. Like, sometimes some people would get lucky with masks, some people would get very unlucky with masks.
You really just gotta count your blessings and do the best you can with whatever mask you're given, because my first year scaring for Halloween Horror Nights, I was given, I can't remember if it was latex or silicone, but I was given a mask too, and it was fitted to my face. It was grindstone kill, so it was fitted to my face, but also, like, my eyes are big, and they had to, like, keep cutting the slits for the eyes bigger and bigger, and same with the mouth. Like, it's hard to breathe sometimes, and then you drool in your mask, and it's so gross, and just gotta keep it clean. And then for the wolf, I had, like, this much to see, because the eyes were in the mouth, so I had no upper, lower, or peripheral vision, and then to make the wolf look at people, I had to look down. So all I remember is seeing slits and shoes. Like, that's it. But you make it work, and you have to do it in a safe way where if I wanted to turn around, I couldn't turn my head because of the mask. So I would...
Oh, that's the worst.
I would, like, pretend to be in character and, like, sniff the air a little bit, like, where's my next target, and then turn, occupying the exact same space I've already been occupying, like a complete 180 with purpose. And when I did that, most of the time there was someone behind me, so it looked like I sniffed them out and I would get a scare just because I wanted to turn around. So you gotta, like, get creative with whatever you got, whatever mask you're working with. You gotta, like, implement it in character too, as you're moving around. Let's see, Vincent, do you like clowns? I want to be a crazy clown character for scare acting. I don't know if I like clowns in general, because I haven't had much experience. Yeah, sure, I like clowns. I have friends who went to
clowns.
clown school, so...
Yeah, clowns or whatever.
I'll say that, like, knowing my friends that have gone to clown school, I'll say, yeah, I like clowns. I haven't seen them perform, but I want to. Demented Pictures says, good evening. Good evening. William, LOL, we are clowns and monsters. We are. That's what we do. We're scare actors.
Yeah. I did feel bad for the people in Clownzilla who had, like, those giant clown shoes to be wearing. I'm like, dang, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and like that's what it is. Like sometimes, like just me, I just had a jumpsuit, some worker boots, a mask, and a crowbar. And I can move around. I can, and I love. I
best to have the freedom.
Couldn't be like I couldn't be in like a maze. Like I can't be in like when I got asked to do like a blackout character one time. It was for Blumhouse. It was for it wasn't Ouija. Was it Ouija?
Happy Death Day?
No, it was something demon. I can't. Oh wait, what might have been oh my gosh.
It's not Purge.
With Lucy, I think it was one with Lucy. It's like I dare. Wait, what was that one?
Truth or Dare.
Like Truth or, I think it was the Truth or Dare one, and all I was doing was like spinning a thing to make like the painting spin, and then a switch to move the sofa, and I would literally just be sitting there, just like I'm like, this sucks. Like I cannot do this.
Oh.
Like I give people who do this so much credit, but like they need a blackout. I said I was like, all right, whatever, and I was just doing. I'm just like sitting there like.
I would not put you in blackout because you've got too much energy and you're too valuable in your movement because you are a stunt performer, you're an action person. Like, you gotta get on a street, you gotta do scare zones, man.
Yeah.
Like, I guess
I just fit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a fun day. But it was what I did, you know, I'm here to work. If I can help, I can help. But then I was just like, I made sure I was like, okay, if I'm ever doing this again, I'm never doing blackout again. Like, don't put me there. No, don't do that ever.
Some people really like it, and I respect that.
They do.
I'm like you. It's like I want to be out there. I want to have the freedom to run around and do scares rather than like hiding and just flipping a switch. That could be fun, and I'll make it fun because you know you do what you have to for the job to make it entertaining enough. But I'm with you on the. I want to run around. I want to be free. I'm so jealous that you got to have a night where you only had makeup, like airbrushed on, and
it was such a cool night.
I just want to be able to see and breathe, and have the freedom. I want to scare people with my face.
Exactly. People were, and we did it. We were loving it. It was a great job. People were loving it, and it was. People were like, "Well, this is really cool." I'm like, "Yeah, I wish we could do this again," but. Yeah, that was a great night to appreciate it.
Did you ever have like someone get mad at you for scaring them, like it either physical or just like how dare you scare so and so? And
yeah. People would like try to cuss me out or stuff like that. Like obviously, like sometimes when I was scared, I would read the situation. Like obviously, if people have like really I would read the person, like because we'd get the people who'd be like. No, don't like. They'd be like, "Hit." I'd be like, all right, I'm not. I'll respect it, but then like, I wouldn't scare them as bad. And then like when you see the kids, like some if they're being like little a-holes, that's different. Like I would be like, "Yo, you're acting a little a-hole. I'm gonna scare the crap out of you." But if you're like a cute little kid, just like I'll be like, and like but I'll mess with them. But it's just like, one time, let me think. Yeah, it was the year was it was 2018. It was the Terror Charm one, and I had my and it was cool because we had like black clothes, so we looked like help workers.
Like the show control.
Show control. We looked like that, so I would just like stand there and like sometimes I would just do this, like just point at things. I would stand so perfectly still. Like I would just stand so still, and like they would think, and then just coming out of the shadows and scaring them. This one couple, they like ran into like the boyfriend like ran behind his friend, and like he went to the ground or whatever, and then then he tried getting in my face about something, He's like, what? I'm like, bro, I just kept staring at him. I did not break contact. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna look at you. He kept getting in my face. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna back down. I'll look at you. I will look right at you. Like, you don't scare me. You think you scare me? And like, he just kept, and then his friends like pulled him away, and then I was like, just like, and then he's like really trying to. Oh yeah, man! I'm like, you're gonna get in my face, and like, no, like I'm gonna roast you. Like, I'm like, bro, get out of here. And that was funny. Like, so many times people like would swing, like no, like you gotta understand the difference between like a or like a and then I'd be like, whoa, hey, oh, and yeah, I've been cussed at, like all that stuff, or like. People will be like, I don't want to be scared. And it's like, why are you here then?
Exactly. You paid to be here.
Yeah,
why are you here?
This is not Grinchmas. Like, this isn't Grinchmas. Okay, this is Halloween Horror Night. My job is to scare you. Okay? Like, no. Like, oh my gosh.
I did have someone backstage ask me if I wanted to audition for Grinchmas based on me scaring. Which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, they're always looking. Yeah.
But it's because I was like adopting kids. Like that's what I'm known for is like adopting kids. So if they're too scared, but not like so scared of me that they won't want to interact with me, I'll usually like go up to them, interact with them, high five, roar with me to the sky, whatever, and then I'll scare the parents off a bit, and then have the kids follow me around, and then we'll scare off other scare actors so that they feel a little more empowered going through and less scared. So I would do that, and one of the, I think it was Guillermo, I don't remember who it was, but someone who was kind of in charge in a way was backstage, and he apparently saw me, and he was like, was that you with the kid? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, you're good with kids, huh? And I'm like, I guess. He was like, you want to audition for Grinchmas? I'm like, based on me scaring people? You want me to interact with them? Okay. I just thought it was so ironic. It's like, I'm here to scare, and yet you want me to be a who at Christmas. Am I not doing my job right here? Like,
nice.
William says he misses his machete.
Yes. When he was Jason.
Do you prefer working with a prop or without a prop?
I'm good either way, honestly. Like, when I, with the bat, it was cool. And then when I was a Nightmare Ghoul, we didn't have any props. Eventually, when we got like our clickety clack hands, like our metal hands, which was awesome. Like that really helped a lot. So that was mainly like my prop, but it was like just slapping the walls and just like hitting things. It was really cool. But like when you're able to just like not focus on a prop where you can just be yourself, so you don't be like, okay, I don't gotta take care of anything today. You're just like. Like just go buck wild, but like having a prop is always fun. Like being able to use that, like whoa, it's fun.
What was your favorite character so far, and is there any character you have in mind that you would love to play that you haven't played yet?
Oh man, favorite character to play. Honestly, like each character I played was somewhat the same, but not. Honestly, I'd probably have to say my first year was probably like my favorite. It's really hard because it's honestly a tie between the Toxic Tunnel and my first year. Second year was cool too. A lot of great people, a lot of great friends. And being a Nightmare Ghoul was cool, like the silicone mask and the Bronco face. But it was like each one has its highs and its lows. But being that first year as a baseball clown, like with everything that was going on in the world, I felt like it was a very special year to be part of like a team because of like with like the clown sensation everywhere across the world on YouTube and platforms, people getting scared by clowns. Like that was a cool year to be part of, and like being part of an original idea by Eli Roth, like that was very, very cool. But honestly, at the same time, each year was amazing that I got to do. Toxic Tunnel was great. I'd probably say Toxic was my most demanding one. Like being able to having to move around so much. So that was the most fun I had as a movable character. Like being able to really having a whole lane instead of just like a little like an okay square to move around, but like really having like a whole lot of tunnel freedom.
Yeah. And then what would you like to play? Like, is there a certain kind of character that you dreamed of playing that you haven't played yet?
Yeah, honestly, there was a long time I really wanted to be part of the chainsaws, like the brigade. I felt like I really I could be able to do that, like with my stamina and everything. I feel like I have a lot of great
you'd be great at that. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. And it ain't easy, man. Like, I give props to all the men and women that are chainsaw people. Like, those people are tough. They're amazing. And I feel like I would be like, I would love to try that. Like, and there was a few years where I almost had the opportunity, but didn't end up panning out, which is totally fine. Like, I loved every single place I was at, but I feel it would have been a lot of fun to play that character. To be a chainsaw. And I always wanted to do stilts too. Like, I've wanted to learn how to do stilts for a while now.
Yeah, same. It just seems so interesting and like a different perspective because you're up so high and how to navigate with the stilts. Like,
yeah.
And you, especially with your background in stunt work and martial arts and just action stuff in general, I think you would catch on real quick on how to fall properly because that's like the biggest thing to know for stilts, I think, is like how do you fall from such a great height. I think, are you going to go for Chainsaw next year if we Scareactors?
Maybe. We'll see. Like, I always circle that yes. I always circle yes for if I'm interested. Mm-hmm. But like, I would totally love to talk to Tunnel again with like a lot of those great guys again. Like,
it just seems like one big party whenever I go through Toxic Tunnel. It's like you guys have so much fun.
Yeah, people wanted to like. People would like be like, oh, like when there was like the pool people, or like yo, there are any spots in the tunnel. Like, everybody wanted to be part of the tunnel because we were like the fraternity of like all the other places, and like it was a lot of fun. That's a good way
to describe it. Yeah. It does
yeah,
feel that
like
way.
Real talk, we really were like a fraternity, like a straight up frat house. And then it was towards like the last few weeks, we actually ended up getting like a few females to scare with us in the tunnel. So that was really big. We were like, wow, I believe you are like the first. So that was huge. We're like,
my friend Aubrey was one of them. Yeah. When I went through with my boyfriend one night, I met up with her because I knew she was there. She was one of my wolf sisters in 2018, so I had to visit her in 2019 wherever she was.
Nice.
And she was like, okay, come here at this time. Like, I'm going to be dressed like this. Hello.
Yeah.
And when I found her, we linked arms and started skipping through the tunnel together. It was so fun.
No lie, I feel like I remember that for some reason. Like, I randomly remember that. That sounds very familiar, and like it was cool when you would get to see like other scare actors in there, and they're just like applauding what you're doing and everything, and like I always try to
improv with us because we know.
Exactly. Actually, yeah. There's actually one time where a fellow stunt actor I knew, she came through, and I texted her. I was like, "Yo, that was me. Yo, when you come back, let me know. We'll shoot a quick little stunt thing." She was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll do basic 1-2." We'll do a 1-2 and then a swing. And she's like, okay. So when we walked past each other, we like looked at each other, and like their friends were recording. So I ran at her. I was like, and then she like gave me like a super button, and I missed, and then on the last one I missed, and then she like does. I can't remember if she ends it with like a punch or like a kick to the side. It was really funny to shoot.
And I want to see that. Do you have the footage?
I have it somewhere. It's somewhere in my phone. I'll show you. I'll send it to you. Like, yeah, I think she posted it too. I told her to be careful. I was like, I can't remember if she posted that night or asked her to post it later, because like with all the rules we have like during the year of like what we like. Technically, no. It was fine. She posted it right away. It was like when a fellow stunt person is scaring. And like people were like laughing, they're like, "Oh my god, that was so funny." I was like, "Yeah, that would be really cool just to do." And my supervisor was like, "Yo, that was funny," and I was like, "Right, that was fun."
Supervisor approval, love it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we have a few more minutes left, so I want to ask. A lot of my viewers are wannabe scare actors who have never scared before. Do you have any advice on getting started with scare acting or like character work or anything like that on scare acting?
Yeah, honestly, it's about like honing the character very well, like knowing where you're going with it. Like from the audition process, it helps to have a very creative mind to be able to get into that mind space. And like obviously, like actors, this is like what we do. And like for people who are just like regular people who just want to scare act, like if you have that energy to do what you do, like to be able to scare everybody and have a great time, like go out there. If you love horror movies, get out there, because you could be a horror buff and be like, yo, come on, man. You've seen this movie so many times. You tell me you can't resemble this character like at all. Like, come on. Like if you have like that drive to like you want to scare, like I feel like every single person, like if you go up to like, yo, did you ever go to a haunt? They'd be like, yeah. Did you ever want to do that as a job? They'd be like, probably, because it really is like it's probably the funnest job you can do. Getting paid to scare people, like that's pretty fun to do. And like being in LA, like everybody, like performers, when they have that chance to perform, like they're gonna do what they do. And honestly, having stamina, it helps. So being able to get your heart rate up, depending where you can be, so understanding what you can do. Because every single place can be less or more demanding depending where you are as a scare actor. Like everybody knew the tunnel was the spot where you're not stopping. Like the most you stop is like to stop scaring and go to the next person. Like, or when there's like a period of like nobody around, you're just like like just gingerly walking around and just having a great time. But yeah, if you're a first time scared, just go out there and trust what you can do and just have a great time doing it. Like it helps to watch people, because when I did the last audition, I gave like other newbies like advice on what to do. I'm like, yeah, bro, just do this kind of character, like just mimic it, just be as wild as you can. Like they're looking for that, catch their eyes, and you'll do great. And it's just like, yeah, just having a fun time. As long as you're having fun while you're doing it, like if you're having fun when you're working, you'll never work another day in your life. So
awesome! Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything to say to Juan before we switch over to Jill? Let's see. Jenny goes, hypothetically, you would have made a great Who. This is going back a ways in our conversation. I haven't caught up yet. William, she would have. I heard what she was going to do. I would have loved to see her as a Who. Thanks, guys. It's okay, though. Frosty Giant, I've been debating it for years and years because I'm a scaredy cat, but seeing you guys talk about it like this is giving me the confidence to actually go to my local haunt next year. Maybe. Awesome!
Dude,
yeah!
Get out there!
Yeah!
Who was this?
Frosty Giant.
Ooh, Frosty Giant. Get out there and do it. Trust yourself, because you only live once, and if you get to put that on your checklist, like, yo, I was a scare actor at one point in my life. Like, that's fun to talk about. And then, you trust me, you're going to make amazing friends out of it.
Totally, yeah. And also, just auditioning, just getting out there, you're going to be so proud of yourself for getting out of your comfort zone. Exactly. Whether you make the haunt season or not, just be proud that you auditioned, and then you'll learn from that, and then you'll try again the following year and everything. So I don't see any downside of just trying it out, especially if you really want to. It out. And
exactly.
Of course, also it's seasonal, so don't miss your shot when it comes around, right?
Just do it, yeah.
Yeah, William, Frosty, I knew someone that was scared of everything, then she became what she was scared of, and she was one of the best scare actors. Go for it. Yeah, absolutely. It helps a lot when you're the one in control of the scare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're actually the person behind the mask, you're a totally different person. And like when you know you have that power, it's a fun feeling.
Yay! Okay, well, it's 9:15, which means it's Jeff's time now. Do you want to take a minute and promote yourself and what you do?
Yeah, I would be happy to, you guys. I hope you guys will follow me on my Instagram or on my IG. It's Juan_Aqualad. And speaking of Aqualad, this is my costume right here. So I have my top and then I have my bottoms. I was part of an amazing action short called Revenge of the Titans. We were actually in a film festival over the weekend, and it was for the Urban International Action Festival based out of New York. So on November 12th at 7 p.m., they're actually going to be playing our film. So I'll be putting up a link on my bio where you guys can go out and buy tickets. It's like $6. We'd love for all the support we can get for this film. It's really cool. Like, for those of you who don't know, Aqualad is the sidekick of Aquaman, and I had the amazing honor of playing this character, like I was fighting alongside Nightwing, Static Shock, Mr. Terrific, Gangbuster. So it's a really cool action flick. I hope you guys will watch it. And also, if you have an Amazon Prime account, I was part of an amazing cast stunt team of a episodic short called Jaeger. That's Jaeger. So Jaeger is on Amazon Prime. It's about 40 minutes long. It's super dope. The action is awesome. It was written, directed, and acted by my good buddy Reed Miller. This kid is going to be one of the next great stars in drama and acting. Kid's amazing. And you guys go on like I said, on my Instagram, Juan_Aqualad. Give me a follow. Give me a like. Check it out. I think you guys will like it. So like I said, for Revenge of the Titans, that link will be in my Instagram bio. So please buy tickets. And Amazon Prime havers and users, look up Jaeger. Enjoy the film. And just give it a comment, and please, you guys, and you might be seeing a lot of future stuff with this character of Aqualad. Hopefully, we want to do more of these, and I hope you guys will be able to support and check it out, because I won't lie, my fight scenes are pretty fun, and if you guys know the character, I use some really cool powers, so I hope you guys go out and check that out.
Oh, I love the sound of that. I am definitely, obviously, I'm going to follow you. Of course. But also, I am really interested in that because I love comics and I love those kind of characters and everything like that.
You should. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna follow you and I'm gonna know when to do that. So definitely follow him. And know when it comes out, November 12th, look for the link. Yeah. And also send me the link to the Amazon Prime Jaeger film, and I will put it in the description so that people can have a direct link to that.
Awesome. I will
if they want to check it out, because that sounds cool. So thank you so much, Juan. I am going to go to a short intermission and see if Jeff's on and get my second interviewee. Don't go anywhere, Juan. I will give you a more proper goodbye. So don't go anywhere, people. We'll be right back. Do-do-do. We are back. We are back. Okay, so hi everybody.
Hey.
Pink Diamond, no, you are not too late. You are just in time to start the next interview with Jeff here. So for those just joining, I will do another little introduction. Hi, I'm Noelle, also known as Charge and Die. I'm a professional scare actor. I tell Scareactor Stories, and yeah, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all the things. And I figured it would be a fun idea to get Scareactor Stories from fellow scare actors of mine, scare actor friends of mine. So I have another guest with me tonight. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Jeffrey Welk. Jeffrey Welk on TikTok, Instagram, The Realist Jeff, all that cool stuff. I have been a scare actor for like 5 years. Well, 6 years. It would have been 6 years, but yeah.
Thanks, The Mess.
The Mess, yeah, there we go.
Thanks, The Mess.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say? We're good.
Chainsaw, dude. That's what I do. That's like my main thing. So
I forgot that you do Chainsaw. That's
on.
Right. Yeah, Chainsaw Brigade. That's awesome. I've always wanted to try Chainsaw. It looks so fun. Can you tell us a little bit about how did you get started? How'd you get started in Chainsaw specifically?
Well, I got started at Chainsaw because I just said that I'd be willing to do it. My second year doing I work at Universal. I think that I can say that.
Sure. Yeah.
So I do Universal, and so my first year I was in a maze, and I did the maze that I was in had lots of like pop out spots. It was all just like almost like a street maze, kind of. It felt like, anyways. My character got to kind of stay out the whole time, so I never had to go back and hide, which was the best. So I think they realized that like I didn't like being in mazes as much, so they like put me on the street because I need to run around. And then you kind of have to get like safety trained with the chainsaw, and then after that, it just kind of kept going from there. So yeah.
Sorry, my cat was
my
cat was scratching the back of my chair. Hi. A random appearance from this is Tulip. Hi.
Hi, Tulip. That's awesome.
Hi, baby. Mwah. You could leave us alone now, yeah? Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. She was scratching my chair.
Does she have any stories? Like, I
don't know. I'm sure she does, but I would never
I bet she scared, like, way more people, because I've been very scared by cats. Like, a lot.
She's definitely scared her brother quite a bit.
Okay.
He's definitely got the poofed up tail quite a bit, because like he's a bigger cat, but she's more intimidating. So there.
Oh, got it. I've been almost killed by a cat, I think, at least 3 times in my life. So, well, just they trip you a lot. Like that's kind of what it is.
That's
and
fair.
So I'm running around like falling, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. This is great. So,
oh yeah, they definitely get under my feet quite a bit too, so I can totally understand. I was imagining like a cat randomly jumped out from the street, was clawing your face or something like.
No, that has not happened.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Sorry, continue talking about Chainsaw. I didn't mean to interrupt with the cat.
So, yeah, it's definitely. I've done scaring on the streets with like props too. Chainsaw is a different beast because but it's basically just a giant noisemaker. So you just get to walk around with like a giant scary noisemaker almost, which is kind of fun. They're real, if anybody wants to know. Like, the chainsaws are real. They have gas in them. They have metal blades. They just don't have chains, so they can't like cut people. But
yeah, they don't have the rotating blade. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're pretty heavy. You spend a lot of the night like squeezing it, so you have to like tape your like wrists like a bunch, because like we call it the saw claw, and you will just like wake up and like not be able to open your hand like sometimes, it's because it's just like it beats on you. So
I've definitely heard horror stories from that where it's like they got to tape up their fingers so much, and then it's so hard to open your hand again. And then at the same time, it sounds so enticing to have the intimidation of a chainsaw in your hand. So
yeah, it's definitely intimidating. Like, it's it's a different type of scare than scaring with like props or just your hands or something along those lines, because I feel like you don't have to worry about being as sneaky in terms of hiding from people, because you can get scares just by like running, or not, we're not running, but like walking very fast at people. So and like chainsaws themselves scare people. I've heard that like whenever I tell people I'm a chainsaw, they're like, yeah, I wouldn't like you.
I would just
I'm like,
run.
that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, I would be too if I didn't know, like,
Yeah.
they are real, but they're not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it is very intimidating, because I went through last year as a guest, and for the first
Oh,
time
yeah.
ever. So I've never gone through Halloween Horror Nights as a guest, so I kind of took advantage of that last year. And then, of course, the mess forced me to take another year off, so thanks.
Yes.
But when I went through, like, I've worked with chainsaws, like, we've worked together, but
Yeah, definitely.
I never realized how intimidating it is until, like, you go through as a guest and then they're targeting you, because also they're my friends, so when they see me, they're going to try and target me more specifically than anyone else, and it is scary. So kudos. And I have so much respect for people with chainsaw, because it's so heavy.
Yeah. My favorite thing about the chainsaw, though, is I love being the distraction, because chainsaws make like a really good distraction for like scares on the street. So like just like making as much noise as possible, and like making people just look at me, and then all the people that are can sneak in and out and move in and out of people on the streets, like they can get really, really good scares because they're not expecting it. So like, oh, there's a giant chainsaw here. This is the scare. And then you get like, I loved the last year that I did it, when we finally were able to like, because sometimes we were not allowed to intermingle with the groups, so just kind of the way that it works. But like when we were finally able to like intermingle with people who didn't have chainsaws or props, and they just had like fingers and hands and stuff like that, getting to work with those people is like the most fun that I ever have, because we just like will run up and down the zone and just kind of like, I'll be a distraction and they'll just like kind of go from the side, or I'll follow people around and make noise for them, so then they can just like run around. And I love getting to like play. Like I remember playing with you, and I would like run from you and be scared and do all that stuff, which was like so much fun for me. And like you get scares by having fun like with your coworkers, which is a lot of fun. So
it's funny when you improv with a fellow Scareactor, because either you're bored or you just want to work with them for some reason. And then you're like improving together and you're like running around having fun, and you get scares just from running by someone, because they weren't expecting two Scareactors to just go running that way. It's like, accidental scares, they're the best. But working with other Scareactors, that is always great, because you get so much better scares that way.
Oh yeah, so many more. The other thing, like the best thing about it is like realizing that like you're there to put on a show is like the best thing about it for me, instead of like always worrying about scaring, because sometimes people are there to look at the cool stuff and like they just want to like see what's going on. So like I really like putting on a show for people and just like being able to do that aspect of it, because some of the characters I've gotten to do are really fun. And then I also get to do Brigade at the end of the night normally, and so that's more of a show than it is like an actual scare, because people get scared through it because they walk through it and it's a ton of chainsaws all in one area, but it's a lot more
chaos. Of a show. It is utter
chaos. Yeah, it's a lot more of a show than it is anything that, like, I mean, then being like super scary. I mean, it is scary to walk through it as like an intense thing, but I just like the show aspect of it.
Because you are performing. You are an actor.
Yeah.
You're just specifically
you're
scare
acting,
actor.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of theatricality, because you have to be a character, you have to stay in character, you got to follow the rules while also being in character. So it's a lot of theatrical stuff to it too. So totally.
Yeah, and that's always what I've prided myself on, is using like the weird way my body moves in a way that to make cool characters, instead of because I'm tall. I'm a pretty tall person. So instead of just being intimidating, I like to be like and move in like weird ways. I've taken
Just
like
a
dance classes
little
and stuff like that.
a little unsettling. Use your
Yeah.
body. Yes, there's a Zach Gelwix in the chat. Oh wow, can you please compliment
Oh, of
Jeff
course
on
he
how
is.
great his camera quality is?
Yes.
Is that an inside
Always.
joke? I'm confused.
I know Zach, and we were playing Among Us the other day, and he just kept complimenting about how I have like really good camera quality on all my stuff. But Zach, I'm on a different camera than when we played Among Us. This is different.
They're all
But,
great
yes.
quality. I mean, much.
Yes, yes.
Hi, Cat. Cat. No. Sorry. Normally when I do these, I'm in a different spot than I normally do these interviews. So normally
okay.
the cats would be in a different room, but because I moved, they are in this room now with me doing interviews. So now Tulip is like, if Mom's not going to pay attention, I'm going to knock all her equipment over.
Yeah, just like knock it all.
Silly
it's great.
girl. Can you talk a little bit more about what it's like to be in Brigade? Because I've always wondered.
Yeah, so we do some practices, and we have like specific spots that we go to all the time. So we always line up in our certain formation, and you have to have a lot of stamina. It's definitely a long half hour.
And it's at the end of the night too, so you really have to reserve that energy throughout the shift. That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a long. It's like it's definitely stamina is what I would say is like the number one thing about it. I would say being fast though in Brigade can be fun, but it's not always the best. Like you have to be very, very focused on where other people are and where so you don't collide with guests, you don't collide with other characters, so you're not like tripping. I've fallen on Brigade before, and that's always a little scary.
How did you handle that? How did you recover?
Yeah, I fell. I got lucky that I didn't. I kept my chainsaw off the ground, like, because it's not supposed to touch the ground. So I like ended up saving it, and then like randomly like doing like kind of a weird roll. It did not look graceful. I can tell you that much. Like I'm pretending like it did. No, it did not look graceful. But I just got up and kept going. And there's always so much going on that sometimes like most likely the only people that are going to notice are the people that are like right in front or the people like that are watching. Because we always have like a captain that's kind of like making sure that things are safe and going well and all that stuff. So yeah, and then once you do it, you halfway through the run of the year, you'll start to be like more in shape for Brigade, and you'll just like you'll get used to it. And then they start getting longer because you start to feel like they're longer, and then the nights get longer. But yeah, it's definitely like the sweatiest I've ever been.
It does sound like a workout for sure.
Yeah,
because it's
especially
like it's strength
when we were
training and cardio.
Yeah. But I've gotten to play some really cool characters up there, which is always fun. Like
what were some of your favorites?
I've only been a human once.
Oh wow.
I've only been a human once, which is cool. I was a purge military person once.
Oh cool. Those are fun.
Yeah, and that was a chainsaw, but we were just like very like just like we had to move like people, which is a different way about doing it. My favorite one that I did was either this past year, we were the skull masks, like the Aztec skull masks, which were really fun.
I remember those looked cool.
Yeah, and that costume was really comfortable, like which is always really nice. When you have a comfortable costume, we had like capes, which I used a ton because I just would like whip around and stuff. And then I also was a pumpkin with overalls, so that was also a really comfortable costume. So I always love comfortable costumes and masks that I can see out of, and the masks like because if you lose periphery, then you lose like the ability to do some of the stuff that you want to do. So because you can't just because it wouldn't be as safe, so you just got to kind of feel out your mask and see like what like is possible, and don't get overzealous with it. And be safe, especially because we're swinging around metal objects. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I really loved my first character too. I mean, I was originally a blackout performer, and then I moved around a little bit like through my first year. But I ended up in Crimson Peak, which is the prettiest maze I've ever seen. I don't know if you saw this maze, but
no.
it was the prettiest maze that I've ever seen. I was this like red crimson ghost, and I had these really, really, really long fingers, like doubled the size of my hand, and they had like points at the end. And I just got to like move in a weird, creepy way. And since the character in the movie is just like in the house, we just got to stay in the house. We didn't have to ever go back and hide. We only had one spot that was like a button push, like pop out scare. Everything else was just like, oh, you can stay out if you want. Like you can go back and hide. Like, but your hides aren't like covered by curtains. They were like they were just like kind of around different objects and stuff.
So, like, if the guests were walking through a certain direction, they wouldn't see your hidey hole, but it is, like, out in the open-ish.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were times, it was like around, like, sometimes it was around, like, an archway. So, like, the archway was there, so you kind of, like, creep around the archway. And we ended with, like, this was, like, character integrity stuff. But so we every time we scared, we, like, shushed. We would do a shush. It was like the character. So every single person playing this one character, it was like the one thing that we were told was like be twitchy and then like this, shush. And then you can kind of make everything else like your own. But
yeah, because Universal, in case people don't know, Universal, like their shtick, their whole thing is like movies. Like you feel like you are in a movie, like you are on a movie set. It is based on movies most of the time. Like sometimes they'll get more creative. Sometimes they'll make up characters, but a lot of the time you might be playing someone from a movie, so you need to do your research and watch the movie or the show, whatever it's from, and know the characteristics of that person. Yeah.
Crimson Peak was interesting because it hadn't come out yet. So there was no, it came out like a few weeks before Halloween, so like early October. So when we learned all the stuff, we were just told like glimpses from like the director of the movie who was like, this is what it's going to look like. But we didn't even know like what our characters' parts were in the movie.
Interesting.
So, And so we all went as a maze to go see it together, which was fun. We went like a whole maze trip to go and so we all saw it together, but we found out our characters in like 30 seconds of the movie. But it's like all throughout the maze because it was like one of the pop-out scares in the movie. So like they were just like, so they would put it throughout the maze, which is always fun when they add like more like scares throughout it. But it's great when they take like their own license on stuff and add more scares than like would be in the movie and stuff like that. So
right, because
when they take like
cat just the random cat tail. When I was the wolf from Trick or Treat, I hadn't seen the movie until like halfway through the run, which I had no excuse. That movie's been out for a while.
I didn't see it until halfway through the run either.
Oh, good. It's not just me. Good. No. So I didn't know the context of my character. I was just like, I'm a werewolf. Cool. And then I see the movie and I'm only in it for like 30 seconds. Could you not? It's the Tulip Show.
She wants to be the star.
She really does.
She
though.
just wants to be.
She is a little star. She is. She's my little model.
Yeah.
Look at her. Anyway, so I didn't know the context of my scare, and I didn't realize that I was in it for just like a brief period, and literally like 5 seconds was I a wolf in the movie. So it was nice to have freedom to scare in that way because I didn't have to base it off of anything. It was like very briefly in the movie was she a werewolf. But at the same time it's like, oh, is that all? Oh, I thought she was more of a main character. Okay, fine. Like
yeah. Well, that movie is hard to have main characters because it's like the vignettes, so that you only have like
Yeah, I was just gonna say like
it's one of those
like 5 stories in one, so like there is no main character. It's just a lot of main stories, but at the same time it's like I wish I had a little more to work off of, but at the same time that's fine because I had a little more freedom. All right. Plus, what can you do as a wolf? Just look intimidating. But it did help to know.
Especially because you guys.
Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say you guys didn't have props, right? So you were just with your hands and you were fully transformed.
I was one of the fully. Yeah, I was the one in the blue dress. So.
Well, at least you didn't have like. Yeah.
I didn't. I was given a hatchet at some point from one of the stilt walkers, which was hard because I couldn't bend my claws, so I couldn't hold the hatchet. And I tried to chase after him and go, "Can you take it back?" And he just patted my head and walked away. I'm like, "No, please take it back." Like a wolf, full werewolf, with a hatchet makes no sense. And I could have this slip out of my hands at any point. I cannot grip it. Please take it back. So that was a fun time. But other than that, no, I didn't have props. I will say it did help with my character to know the character. The character's motivations were to like be sexy to lure people into the woods. Because before I was just like a wolf, but then after seeing the movie, I was able to like pose a little more sexy, come hither kind of thing. Okay, bye. Sorry. So it did help to watch the movie. So watch the movie if you are a character from a movie. Know the character, know the characteristics, the mannerisms, gestures, whatever makes it that character, which is great. Yeah. But also, you have a chainsaw a lot of the time. So how does that work?
I figure out ways to hold the chainsaw in weird ways. So by being safe, so like keeping it very close to my body, but I pretend it's heavier than it is a lot of times, and so it like puts me like in weird positions. Like I like make my wrist limp a lot, or I like hold it with like one-handed, but like near me, so it doesn't like I don't try to like lunge out because I don't want to trip anybody or like hit anybody. But like I figure out weird ways to like hold it, or like different ways to like I play with the cord a lot, and that makes a little bit of sound. I'm the type of chainsaw performer that doesn't really turn on my chainsaw that much. I use it a lot like when I need to, but I will always turn it off. So I normally have a lot more I don't use as much gas as some other people in terms of just the way that they like to scare. Whereas I use it when I need it to make noise, but I also will try to do scares like with my hand or with stuff like that, even though I have a chainsaw. But I like to creep up behind people and kind of carry the chainsaw near me sometimes and stuff like that. So like that's some of my like when just figuring out different ways to move, and once you have it and you're used to it in your hand, it like you can, and you're really comfortable with it and you're safe with it, you can learn how to kind of be safe but play with it in a way that's like more fun and more in character work with it. So it's
awesome. And have you worked only with Halloween Horror Nights, or have you worked at other haunts? Or
so I started I auditioned because I used to work at Universal City Walk, not for a Universal company or anything like that, but
just a store.
So I used to work there.
Okay.
I worked at the restaurant, at one of the restaurants, and then so I worked there, and then I moved to California when Halloween was happening. So I didn't do it my first year, but I knew about Halloween Horror Nights. And the next year I was like, this sounds like a fun acting thing, right? Because I'm not like a Scareactor by trade. I'm an actor, and then Scareacting like kind of goes in with that. So I do like regular, just more comedic stuff actually, which is like the funny part about it. But so
you got to balance.
I was like, so this will be a fun like acting thing. So then I went to the audition, and got my little ticket, and then got cast. Started out as a non-acting really role. I was more of like a blackout person, and then like showed like initiative and showed the willingness to kind of keep going and be and just like always on time to set, and always like and just like showed that initiative and expressed desires and wanting to do more character stuff, and then they gave me a chance with this. I was in the Predator, Alien vs Predator maze, so like they gave me a chance with Predator, and then they moved me to Crimson Peak, and I got to stay there permanently because I like, not that Blackout's a good job. It's a fun thing to do. It just wasn't my cup of tea because it wasn't something that I really felt like doing. But I know some people who like absolutely love Blackout jobs. Yeah, and so, but it just wasn't my thing. And then just kind of kept moving through the ranks at that, and then just I've been in the same zone position for the last like 4 years now. So I've been in that area for. It would have been this year. Would have been my this year if the mess didn't happen. I would have wanted to be in that same place again because it's fun because there's a lot of area. So it could have been my 4th year in that area, but I had been 3 years up there.
I love that area. It's so much fun to play around in scare zones rather than like a pop-out maze, which I have so much respect for, and of course I do that too.
Yeah.
Same with Blackout scares. Like I know I could make it fun, but like you said, it's not my cup of tea either because we're too active. And we want to be out there with the people, right?
Exactly, and that I like the freedom, especially with the area that we are. There's no set order or direction to walk, so you have to figure out scares in a more complicated way because you don't know where guests are coming from. They can come from all sides and come from behind you. They can come from in front of you. Whereas like in mazes and even certain scare zones, like they're always traveling in one direction, and so it's interesting. And also like if you're near the front, you see every single guest twice because they have to walk through you. So it's one of those things. So it's like I've seen people in the beginning of the night, and then I scare them then, and then I get to scare them as they're leaving too, which is always fun. So it's definitely my favorite part. I would like to it would be interesting to do more stuff. Like I've wanted to be a face character. Or some sort of face thing, but with the way, since Universal's thing is doing the movies, you kind of have to look like somebody that's in the movie to do like those type of roles.
Right.
Even the people that have done them 1 year, it's not like they get to keep doing them like every year. It's just it'll be a fun thing to do. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a job that I really like. I miss it a lot. So yeah.
Sorry, the movement is still the cat. If you see the backdrop like ruffle a little bit, that's her walking by. Hi, baby.
She's practicing being a Scareactor, and that's what she's practicing. So.
She's great at being all stocky and sneaky. She's a freaking ninja. So what are some characters that you would like to play then? Because you said you wanted to be a face character. Do you see yourself playing a particular character? Like, do you have a dream role kind of scare?
I think I would have loved to be one of the people in Ghostbusters that got to that would have been really fun to be one of the Ghostbusters, especially the ones that get to hand out stuff, like the person in Horror Nights that always has like the ticket, like the secret password every year. I would like to be that part. If they ever do something with Harry Potter, I would love to be a Death Eater because
that would be awesome. Because I know they do that, or at least they did that at least once at Orlando.
Yeah, they did it in Orlando last year. I was hoping, but because that would have been something that I would love to do, something like that, like being a Death Eater.
Oh, absolutely. Also, if you're a fan of Harry Potter, follow Jeff on TikTok. He does a lot of Harry Potter content. He does like the raps and stuff. He's really cool.
That's why I was like almost late, because I just finished editing a video and it took it was a hard edit. Let me tell you, it was just like a hard one to edit.
You work real hard on those. I could tell. It's like, wow, he puts a lot of effort. That's awesome. I just tell stories.
Yeah. This one was I'm starting a series where I'm doing each book or movie I'm just using both. Each year I'm doing them in under a minute. So I'm on year 2, and already year 2 was very, very hard to get in under a minute. When I did my first edit, it was at 2 minutes, and I was just like, oh crap, I need to edit down half of this.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I already yeah, so it's very, very quick cuts, so that's fine.
Well, I can't wait to see it when it happens. So,
Yeah,
I follow it.
Yeah,
it is. Oh my god! I need to look at it when we're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I follow him. You should follow him too, especially if you like Harry Potter.
If you like Harry Potter, definitely. If you like comedy stuff, I do random nerd comedy too. So
he wears wigs.
I do wear a lot. I never thought that I'd be a person that owned too many wigs, but I own way too many wigs.
Dude, I know. When I got into cosplay, I had like maybe 2 wigs, and now I have like well over 10. And it's like, oh, I have my pick. Like the last time I did an interview, it was Saturday. Today's Monday. Mm-hmm. So Saturday when I did an interview, my hair was just not having it that day. So I was like, I'm just gonna throw on a wig, and I go into my closet and go, which one should I do? This one. Hair is fine.
Yeah. It was funny because I started out doing these wraps because I dyed my hair for quarantine because I was just like, oh, I'll just bleach it. So it was like
that's
blonde.
right, you did.
So
I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, so I had like bleach blonde hair doing Draco Malfoy stuff, and then I was just like, okay, well, I guess it's time to get some wigs. I think it's because, I mean, the TikTok thing is a lot of people will use like towels and stuff for like hair and stuff, and which is like just like what TikTok does, and that's fine. I know that that's like a type of TikTok. It's just not. I only do that in certain videos. Like it just depends on the type of video that I'm doing.
Right. I mean, if you have the wig, use the wig. People do the towel because they don't have anything that looks like hair. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny that TikTok decided that towels were like the thing to give you long hair, and I'm like, this is fun. I like this.
I don't get it, but okay, it's a thing going along with it.
Yeah. Right.
But back to scare acting.
Oh yes.
Back to scared. We'll get back to TikTok. I'm sure. So, what have been some of your favorite reactions? Do you have any stories to tell of like best scares, best reactions?
I like getting people to fall. Because they're so scared. That happens more for me in mazes than it did on the streets. But that's always what I have a lot of fun doing. If you can get somewhere in the dark and then the lights turn on, that's always like very surprising for people. I remember like basically sprinting to places in the dark because I could see but they couldn't, and then just like putting my hand in front of people, and people will just drop to the ground because they don't see you because like it's the lights are off. That's
I love moving in the dark scares, especially Scareactors specifically, we can be trained to move in the dark, which means our eyes are adjusted so we know where we're going, or if it's pitch black, there's the technique of like just scan and memorize where people are, and if they're moving, predict where they might be and then get near that. And if you get really good at that, you could end up being just an inch from someone's nose when the lights pop up again, and they are so freaked out. I made someone pee their pants doing that once, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
I was I've gotten people to like by just putting my hand in front of them, and it's just like because the scare was designed to like turn off the lights and then turn on the lights again, so I wasn't even in charge of when the lights went down. Like there was some other character that had a button, and then when their button went off, it turned the lights off and then it turned the light back on. So it was like I learned to just like pop out when I could hear the button go off or something along those lines, and then I would just like be there in the dark, and then like the lights would come on, and I had a good, like, it wasn't like, oh, they're right there. I had a good like 5, maybe like 10 feet to like move to get to like the actual pathway of people, which was always fun. And I like ping pong scares too, which are like which are fun, where you can scare them into somebody that's also scaring them. So then they just like go, and they just like move around the whole
I love that, like fun. Working with your Scareactors, like rah, then you just go back and forth forever. Oh, it's so great. Yeah. That's
my favorites are always
like relying on someone else for the trigger. That's got to be so hard.
Oh
though.
yeah, that was interesting. That trigger, it was like, yeah, and sometimes that spot would, yeah, and so it would be a little bit harder in certain times, but it always worked. I mean, after a while, it was like a really fun room to be in when it was going well, and so, and then other times you just figure out your other ways of doing it. You creep around and you do other stuff, but yeah, my favorite scares are always with other people. Like I'm definitely like not a solo scarer at all. Like I will be in my own world, like doing weird stuff, like with like just like spinning around in my body and just doing random stuff, like in the middle of the street. Because I do that a lot. I skip down the street, do a lot of that, like fun stuff. Like I'm always in character though. Like I don't.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not a character breaker like at all. Like in terms of like
You're a professional. It's what you do.
yeah. But yeah, I will just do like some like weird stuff, just like like. But my favorite scares are always if I can find somebody else and like just kind of work with each other, which is also hard to do because you don't really talk. Like you can't talk, so it's hard to like plan scares. Like you kind of just have to like know how the other person scares and then kind of just like work with it, and then like normally like people will like once you do enough times working with the same people, you can kind of really get really good at doing that type of stuff. So
do you have an example of like a really good scare working with someone else like that?
The only one that I can think of off the top of my head is from a maze, because there was a spot where we were made to come out at the same time, and so there was me on one side, and then a different character on the other side, and we were made to run 7 or 8 feet, and then move back, and then like so we had to move out to like 7 feet to like to get to the line, and then move back. And so if you had the right person, you could, if you got the same time, or even if you got it like one after another, you could get some really, really good scares because people are expecting just one character, people are expecting 2. And then since my character was one that could stay out, like sometimes I'd pretend to be a statue and then move. Like I would let a bunch of people go by and let her scare some people, and then I would just be a statue and get some good scares with that. That was fun.
What a workout, though. To just always be moving.
Yeah. Lots of working out. And then with chainsaws, when we were the military people, we had a lot of group formation scares, which were fun. So we would there's always like a captain or a leader, and so we would huddle together, and then we would kind of all just huddle, and then somebody would just like tell us all to turn on the chainsaws, and we turn them all on the same time, and then just like run around for like a quick minute, and then we'd go back to the formation and then go back. And then it was one time we got so used to working together that we started like tapping our chainsaws like to the music, and nobody talked about it. We just all were in a formation and we started tapping our chainsaws without even like, it was just like this weird synergistic thing, and we were just like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah. Like when you start working with the same people for as long as we do, and you spend so much time with these people, they end up becoming like family stuff. So it's very interesting, like how much you get to know somebody by scaring with them.
And it's especially interesting knowing how to scare with them when you can't even talk to one another, because we're not allowed to speak. So like you were saying, like you just have to be able to like speak with your eyes if you can, or just know the person and get lucky, or I don't know. Do you have any other good examples of like an improv scare that you did with someone, or maybe you were like goofing off and you accidentally scared someone?
I can't think of like improv ones right at the moment, because I'm just such a go person that I don't always wait to see the reactions, like, which is always fun for me to see them, but like I move from person to person very, very quickly.
So you're really like scare and get out right away. Yeah,
it's like a safety thing. It's to be like to be safe. And I also, once somebody's scared, I don't really like to keep, unless like they seem to be like having a ton of fun, and then I'll stay and play around and circle people, and not really circle, but like just like play around. I yeah, I can't really think of like another specific time. It's always fun when people are like huddled together in a centipede and you get like one person to fall and then everybody falls down from the centipede.
Oh,
So
the
that's always an
domino.
interesting
I
time.
love it.
Yeah.
Have you gotten anyone to spill their beer?
I've gotten people to spill a lot of popcorn.
Okay.
That's beer, not as much. I think people are more precious with their beer.
Well, I mean, it's like
but I've
$16 for
gotten
an 8-ounce beer.
Yeah. Yeah, so I gotten a lot of popcorn. I really like being weird. So people will give me popcorn and then I will run around and scream at the popcorn. Like I will have popcorn in my hand and then just like run around and just scream at the top of my lungs that like I have popcorn, and people like look at me, like people get scared because they're like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? Like, I don't understand, but I'll like show them the popcorn and they'll be like, what? Like, what? Like, why?
Confused is a good reaction,
And I'm
right?
Yeah, it's like, why that? But yes, I would
Why
do
is this
that kind of stuff.
happening? Yeah, a lot of the zombie
Yeah.
kids would like scream at the popcorn on the ground that people drop to in
Yeah,
the scare
'cause
zone.
it's just
so
fun.
It's
Like-
fun. It's weird. Like we would play fetch sometimes because we acted like dogs, and like one of the zombie kids, Rob, found a glow stick on the ground, and we would play fetch with it every once in a while because people aren't expecting that, and we're having fun being weird. Like we're weird people
Yeah.
to want to scare people for a living. Like this is weird.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, I never thought I wanted to scare people. It's never something that I thought I would like to do.
Right.
And then once you start, you're kind of like, wow, this is awesome. Like, yeah, it's one of those
were
things
you really
that you're
into
just...
horror before being a scare actor or anything?
No, not at all.
Oh wow.
No,
So it really
I-
was just like an acting opportunity that you took advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't into horror at all. I even my first like 2 years doing horror nights, I wasn't even really into horror. It was once I started doing it and like seeing the people and like getting the whole feel of it, and then I started understanding like the nuance behind horror and like the arts and the art of that. Yeah, I wasn't like a horror person. I wasn't I don't like creepy things, and now I have like skulls in my room. So
It really made you blossom into the goth kid that you were always meant to be, right?
Yeah, right. That I was like formerly a goth kid. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite horror movie now?
I'm a yes. Actually, let me like think about this. I love the Babadook, and I love the Conjuring franchise.
I've been hearing
and
that a
then-
lot. I need to watch The Conjuring. I haven't done that yet. I just watched Paranormal Activity 1 through 3.
Okay, yeah.
So at least there's that.
I like those ones. I like those ones for what they did, like in terms of the budget and stuff like that. I think it's a really interesting concept. I love like I love the haunting stuff on Netflix. Like those are both really great. Hill House and Bly Manor. They're awesome. I know a lot of other people didn't really like Bly Manor as much. I've heard anyways. I loved it. It's not as scary, but I don't think it's trying to be as scary. So I like when horror is like allegories and for other things, like when it's not just like
psychological rather than gore.
exactly.
I love
yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you
like
ever
when they
gone
need,
to like horror conventions?
Never been to a horror convention.
Me
No,
neither. I
I've
really
heard of
want
Midsummer
to.
Scream, and I've heard of like those ones. Yeah, I have gone to all the other haunts in LA, I believe, or in California. Or
Is
in
there
Southern
another
California.
haunt that you've considered working at, if not Halloween Horror Nights?
No, because I now have like a bunch of friends now that I work with.
It's a family.
So I wouldn't. Yeah. So I wouldn't consider working at another haunt. I don't think. But there's all the other haunts are doing like really interesting stuff. And they all have their own unique spin on a lot of things. Like, I went to Knott's 2 years ago, and their maze design is so interesting. Like, it's so different than what Universal does, and it's so fun.
It's very
like
creative, yeah.
they did like the flashlight maze, which is so interesting, like where you just have a flashlight, and that's really cool. And then the sliders are so fun, like, and they have those sliders at Queen Mary too. And Queen Mary is just like I would say, like, their street people are funny. Like that's what they're made to do. Like they go around, they talk to you, and they always like they more have joke stuff to do. Whereas like creepy ghosts, but it's like because Queen Mary is like supposed to be like a haunted circus most of the time, I think, is like their theming for their streets. So like they just have like funny clowns and stuff running around. But the boat stuff is so creepy and weird because the boat is creepy. Like
everyone says it's actually very, very haunted, creepy. And I want to know with what is it haunted?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know anything about it.
I've scared on it too, but
I've scared on a ship before. I've scared on the USS Hornet up in Alameda, which is similar to the Queen Mary, but still very different. It is an old aircraft carrier in the war. And they did the same thing of like using the ambiance of the already creepy old ship, but then they made a maze in it, and it was very interesting because it's like, there's a lot of history here. I'm not just scaring, like there's something else going on here. It's freaky. So I was kind of considering Queen Mary, but knowing it's actually haunted, I don't know. Because I believe that. I believe in ghosts. Which makes playing Phasmophobia all the scarier.
I don't know what that is, but
it is a game where you hunt ghosts, and the ghosts can kill you if they're on a hunt.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
So you're trying to figure out, based on different evidence, what kind of ghost it is, and pray that you don't have to face a demon because they are relentless in their killings. So
yeah.
Sorry, I've been playing a lot of that on Tuesdays. I go on Twitch and I play a lot of games. So I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia, and it's very scary. But have you I had another question. I totally blanked out on it though. So you like to make people fall down, and you said you did that more in a maze setting rather than on a street. Why do you think that is?
I think it's just because there's a lot of chance for surprise in mazes. I can see the chat too.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, Michael says hi.
I think it's just a more opportunity for surprise because I think people are more on edge in mazes too. So I think that's where you get the falls more. They're designed in a way to scare you more than I would say the street areas are. Just because streets you're constantly performing and constantly on stage, whereas in the mazes you have a chance to like go back, you can regroup, and then you go back out again, and you do like a shorter. You have a turnaround time, but it's like repetitive, but you get the off time. Whereas on the streets you don't really have that off time, so you always have to like kind of find. It's harder to surprise somebody because people can see you walking up. So you always either have to be from behind somebody or something along those lines, which, I mean, if somebody's really vigilant, they're not going to let you get behind them and stuff like that. So.
Right. That's fair because there's no place to really hide when you're on a street. So it's not as big a reaction when you pop out at them. That makes sense. I remember my question. Do people tend to intimidate you when you have a chainsaw in hand? Is it one of those things where it's like, oh, people tend not to mess with me because I have a chainsaw, or is it because you have a chainsaw people are more likely to try and get in your face?
I would say it's a mix of both. I would say you have a ton of people who are like I would say it's a mix of both. You have people who are like extra scared of you because you have a chainsaw, and then you have people who just are trying to be a little bit more like rowdy or whatever in terms of like trying to like come at you. But because I move in the way that I do in terms of like pinging from person to person and not waiting for reactions as much, I don't deal with that as much.
That's good.
Because I don't feel the need to prove anything either. So sometimes like I think it's just being safe. It's just the way to be safe if like somebody is coming around in a certain way. So yeah, I would say it's probably very, very, yeah, it's mixed, but I try to avoid any of the other times. So yeah.
Do you have any stories of when someone tried to get in your face and failed, hopefully?
I've had people like try and like kind of just be like, what? um, at me, and then it's always good when I kind of get a scare from them. Um, those are always the fun times. I have not had any big incidents or anything like that. Yeah, nothing super interesting. Yeah. But it's always fun if somebody like is putting on a brave face and then you can kind of surprise them in a way. Like, that's where I'll like do stuff like come up behind people or do something along those lines. But I don't, yeah.
What's your favorite type of reaction from people? Like your favorite scare?
I love, when you notice that you've really actually scared somebody who didn't think they were going to get scared. So they don't always scream, right? Like that's not always the reaction, but I really love when it's just like when it's somebody who like doesn't think they're going to get scared and they walk and then they go, whoa, like I did not expect that, or like something along those lines. Like it's the people that aren't like easily scared that if you get like them to like do like the jump up, that's what I really like. I like people that like almost just like run away. Like that's always fun on the streets. Like people are just like they just run from you.
The flight of fight or flight, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would say like my favorite stuff. I always like if you get the hard scare, like somebody who wasn't like didn't expect to get scared. Like because there's some people that you can tell are like there to like they know they're going to be scared and they do get scared, and that's always fun too.
It's fun, but it's easy, and you want the win.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big win if you get someone who's not normally scared to get scared, and it's like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
It's like I did that. I'm one of the few. I'm one of the few who can do that too. Yay!
I know, right?
Eliza Shakira Masani. My fight or flight is broken. Sometimes I just stand there. That's called freezing.
Oh,
freezing happens. Yes, it's the deer in headlights.
It's like, yeah. If somebody's like that, if they seem to enjoy still that they're getting scared, I will like stay near them or stare at them for a long time and do that. If like they're just like frozen, they seem like legitimately like terrified in a way that like they're not enjoying it, then I kind of just like brush it off or like
let them unfreeze eventually.
Yeah.
You're one of the nice scare actors then who are like,
I'm a very, very nice character.
Yeah.
I will say
there are a lot of scare actors that are like, I'm gonna go for the easy scare, I'm just gonna keep scaring them even if they're traumatized. They shouldn't have come here if they thought they'd be traumatized.
Yeah, I scare children.
Kids are fair game, and yeah,
I scare children too. Nobody's like safe from the scare, but like once I get it, I don't want to like traumatize somebody.
Yeah,
I know there are a lot of people that do.
We're there to entertain. We're not there to traumatize. Right.
Yeah.
He likes to give people time to process the scare. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the slow realization of like, boo, and then the person goes, like it takes them a second, like, oh, wait, oh, it's a scare.
Yeah.
I love that. Like,
I also love getting the scares that you don't expect to get, where you are like walking with the crowd and then you kind of just turn around and somebody like didn't know that you weren't a guest. Those are always fun when you can blend in with the crowd and then it's just like, oh wow, it's you're not a guest. So yeah.
It was really hard to blend in as the wolf. I full on crouched behind people and then would pop out the opposite flow of traffic, and I definitely had someone fall because they're like, "Whoa, how did I miss a freaking wolf?" Like, it's because I had to hide. I do not blend in well. But I did blend in well with the decorations, because in my part of the zone, because our zones were like two different zones. Yours was more in the front of the theme park, and then mine was New York Street, right? So I had the photo op right there, and we had a lot of fog. So sometimes I would sneak in the beginning of my set so they didn't see me out on the street for like the last 30 minutes. So the first thing I would do is like go behind the bus, wait for the fog to hit. Once the fog was really thick, I would just scoot in next to the photo op and then stand there like decoration until I had someone to take a picture with me. And then as the person's taking a picture, the person's standing right here, I would just turn my head. And then the person taking the picture would freak out, and the person getting the picture taken would be very confused until they look up and just see wolf mouth that wasn't there before, and then they would freak out. I'm like, yeah, and then I would bust out and start scaring other people.
Yeah, scaring during pictures is always fun.
Oh, it's so funny.
Because people's guards are down, so they're like not expecting it. So it's like one of those things where you can get,
My favorite thing was to
act
like if I was scaring and someone came up to me, all obnoxious like, right? And they're like, "Oh, let me get a selfie." And it's like they're holding me down. And we were told like we're not allowed to take pictures,
no pictures.
Because it's going to cause a line and all this stuff. Like, we're not there to pose, we're there to scare. So when someone would do that and like try and take a selfie with me, I would pretend like I'm about to, and then before they hit the camera, I would go whoop, and then go the other way. And they'd be like, "Wait, come back." Just gotta do that.
You like bring people around and try to make them scare in certain ways. So it's funny.
Exactly. Do you have any advice for people who want to scare but have never scared before?
Yeah. This is where I think I can shine. No. I would say the number one thing is when you go to the audition is have safe energy. So any energy that is safe and controlled, but like be energetic is like the number one thing. And then and if you make a character choice that's like weird, just go with it. Like just make a choice like character wise, like don't walk around like a person, like just do something weird with your body, or do something like in a way, like move it in a way that maybe you wouldn't expect to, or like figure out a movement that you want to do and just kind of go with that type of movement. And definitely, make a strong character choice. And then when you move around and are focused on the room, with the way that the auditions are run that I've been to, but be intentional about your movements, be safe with the movements. 'Cause I think that's actually the number one thing, is like making sure that you can be safe, because that's what I would say is like the number one thing, is being safe with the movement. So Absolutely. You're gonna be aggressive, but like be safely aggressive.
Like William was saying earlier with Juan, be aggressively safe.
Yeah. Be very, very aggressively safe.
Aggressively safe. And also, shameless plug, I do have a video on safety tips and tricks for scare acting. If you're interested in scaring, please check out that video, because it has a lot, not just with the audition process, like what Jeff was talking about, but like throughout the marathon is a season.
Drink water.
Drink water, stay hydrated, bring your own supplies. Drink a lot of water, but you are going to have to pee a lot, so make sure that you can easily get out of costume to pee, because I could not in that wolf costume, as I say in another Scareactor story. Eliza Shakira Masani, ever hurt yourself mid-scare?
I've tripped a bunch, depending on the costume or something along those lines. I've hit like chairs and like fences, because you can't see below you sometimes. So I've definitely like banged up a shin or banged up a knee a little bit, but never like. And then I've Universal's pretty good about like their like the protection of not the protection, but they have like a lot of like first aid people around and stuff like that in case something goes wrong.
We're very spoiled. We're very lucky.
Yeah.
With Universal.
I started taping up my feet because I would stomp on the same foot for a long time, and so you have to kind of like switch up the stomp. Um, uh, yeah, but never like a full on huge injury. My main thing is that my shoes have come untied a lot, and when you can't tie your own shoes, like, and then that's what it is. Like I've had my shoe come untied a lot.
What do you do?
But,
Do you go off
yeah.
offset and have someone tie it for you?
Yeah, I would quickly like when I was in a maze, I had to get offset because I could trip and fall, and so to get offset, I had these long fingers, so I like would call over my supervisor, and I would just have them tie my shoe quickly and just like run back on. Um, in the zone, I would like you basically have like areas that you can get off stage pretty quickly, like in certain wherever you are, and you kind of just go to the nearest offstage door. I had to take off my gloves because you have to wear gloves. Almost every character wears gloves, I think. You take off your gloves, and I would tie quickly and then go off. Like I would never tie it on set because that's just one of the things
out of character too.
Well, it's out of character, and it puts you in a vulnerable position because you're not looking around.
People are definitely gonna punt you if they can.
Yeah.
Oh, they will.
It puts you in you don't want to be in that vulnerable position. So yeah.
Oh no, absolutely not. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Jeff? If not, I think we're about out of time. Is there another story that you'd like to share or anything while we still have time? Any fun reactions? Any Karens? Have you ran into a Karen?
Any Karens? I've had people, which I think I've seen some of your stories, like telling people to stop scaring their children a lot. That's like one of the big ones. It's like, don't scare my child.
So
and I'm
why
like,
did you bring them?
You brought them here to be scared because that's how this works.
Do you have like a major pet peeve with guests that you wish they would stop doing?
Asking to take pictures is like my number one thing. It's the one, people on their phones the whole time and people asking me to take pictures. So you're not going to enjoy the event a lot of times if you're on your phone the whole time. If you're trying to like capture it on your phone for Snapchat or Instagram or something like that, like take the designated pictures in the places and do that stuff. But like filming us and like putting flashes in faces and stuff like that isn't gonna get you a better photo in a way. Like it's not gonna. We're
still moving anything. Constantly. It's gonna be a blur. Like
so. I would say like put your phone away until you're like in an actual picture spot, because there's designated spots to take pictures like all the time. So I would say do that. Turn your flash off, and if you want a video. And I would say if you want to video something, stay in a spot and sit. Like in our zone area, there was always places to like sit down. And if you want to video from there. Don't do it like while you're walking, because that's just going to be like one of the things. Like it's just like if you're behind your phone, you're not looking. You're there are people that are good at it that can like stream the events and stuff like that, and that's something different. But like if you're just like trying to capture video for later, you're not enjoying the moment that you're having at the time. And I would say like and you're gonna drop your phone, because I've had so many people drop their phones. And so that's like a fun, interesting thing for me. I never touch it. Like I never touched a phone. I never because I don't want to be responsible for breaking a phone.
It's a liability.
Yeah, so I've never touched a phone. I've never tried to hit a phone out of anybody's hand. It's just like it's that, and then asking for pictures with me, like the two that like are the biggest pet peeves that I have. Because I'm always like, enjoy the time that you're having, like enjoy the event. Don't try to capture it, because like what are you gonna remember? Like what's the video gonna do for you?
Exactly. I like that. There was a lot of people who came through the scare zone. If they were really engrossed on their phone, like texting someone or whatever, I would stick my claw in between their phone and their line of vision. And a lot of the times that would get good scares, but every so often, this is what I hate. Someone would reply with, could you not? I'm on the phone, And it's like, why? Why are you on the phone? Why did that not scare you? Like, can you let me do my job? Can you not be such a brat? Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
So I agree.
Exactly.
Like, get off the phone. Just enjoy the experience. And if you need to get on the phone, fine. But be safe about it. Don't drop your phone. But, yeah.
That's what I would say.
Cat! The theme of this interview has been cat interruptions.
Cat.
Stop it. You're cute.
Love
but
it.
Stop it. Anyway, I think we just got a few more minutes left. So if you'd like to plug anything in general, self-promotion, go for it.
Love the self. Jeffrey Welk on TikTok, as we talked about before.
Especially if you like Harry Potter stuff, he does a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, especially if you like Harry Potter stuff, if you like comedy, that's where I'm at. The Realist Jeff on Instagram, which is REALEST. There's already the real Jeff, and so I had to be the Realist Jeff. On Instagram. I'm an actor, so like check out my IMDb and my website. You know something that I'd be good at, I'm willing to work. Yeah, that's all I got to plug. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so definitely follow him on TikTok and Instagram and be up to date on all the cool things that he is doing, and hopefully we'll be able to get to scare with each other again one day.
Yes.
One day. Crossing all the fingers. But that's all the time we have for tonight, so thank you all so much for joining me. Don't go anywhere, Jeff. I'm going to give you a more proper goodbye once I stop the stream. It's always awkward when it's like, bye, and then everyone hangs up at the same time. But if you're watching this live stream and you were chatting with us, thank you so much. It's always fun to chat with you guys. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. You could find me on TikTok at charge_and_die. Obviously, subscribe here on YouTube, especially if you like Scareactor content, but I also do skits. I am an actor, too, and I'll update on all those things. I also do Let's Plays. I've been busy moving, so I haven't been able to edit a lot of stuff, but those things will be coming shortly. And, of course, I go live with fellow Scareactors to get their Scareactor Stories every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern, until about 10:30 p.m. in case you want to hop on in and ask your questions and hear some fun stories with some interesting people. Also, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard, 11 p.m. Eastern, I go live on Twitch, and I do Scareactor Plays Horror. So I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia, with friends. It's fun. Join in. Fridays, this is a little different. On TikTok, I go live 5 p.m., not 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I do this fun, 16-tier competition thing for a couple hours with people, and it's a fun time. So definitely follow me on TikTok, here on YouTube, obviously, Twitch, and Instagram. Instagram is probably most important out of all those things because that's where you're going to get the most up-to-date updates on all the live streams, and if there are technical issues, if I'm running late, if it's canceled, whatever, you're going to find that out on my Instagram stories. So be sure to follow me on Instagram to know those things. I guess I'll say this now. If you're interested in seeing my Twitch live stream tomorrow, I don't think it's going to happen because I only have a week to get out of my other apartment and I have a lot of stuff to do for that. So, this is the new place. I have to get out of the old place and I still have 10 chapters to record for an audiobook while I'm at that place. So, I don't think I have time this week to play video games, but don't fret, I will go live the following Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I tend to keep to my schedules, but every so often I might not. So yeah, follow me on Instagram to know those updates. But thank you all so much. Have a good night. And I will see you on Wednesday for the next live stream with other Scare Actors. So thank you so much, Jeff. And that is the live stream. Bye, everybody.